Fortnite fam, I'm telling you, that intro is fire. It is fantastic to be here and to see all of your shining faces. Welcome to the final day of the FNCS All-Star Showdown. The solo competition is today. It is going down. 3 days of skill challenges have led us to this very moment, and now we will see it all unfold before us. We are playing for a ton of prize money, and who better to break down all the action and tell us how things have happened than Reese and Levin, my friends. It is good to be here with you. How are you guys feeling?
Look, Zeke, it's been a long week, but a fun one, a fun, exciting one. And I think, every single day I sort of just felt, we're getting closer and closer to that solo day. And we're finally here. We're finally here. What we've all been waiting for, the main event. And I just know it's not going to disappoint. I know it's not going to disappoint.
Yeah, and I share that sentiment, and I know it's not going to disappoint because we have, quote-unquote, the all-stars from this region in this match. When you look through the player list of who's going to be here, who's going to be competing, every single one of these players almost has a chance of getting in that top 10. There's such a stacked roster that we're going through, and I just don't see any way it physically can disappoint.
Oh my goodness, there's going to be so much incredible head-to-head action, so many crazy end games. Circles are going to be insane. But for now, we got to talk about the format, boys. We got to talk about what's going on here. We've got 45 players from Chapter 2, Season 5, the top 15 trios, and the same for Season 6. And then, Levin, we had an all-star play-in where 10 players are joining, making up a total of 100 players.
Yeah, well, we had the play-in and a couple of really interesting players were able to make it through on that. And I think we will sort of be able to track their journeys across the day. But, in terms of the format, 1 day of competition, 6 games total, what we're all used to. Probably what a lot of people played as their first ever game mode in Fortnite, that solo Battle Royale. And at the end of the day, there will be that one champion. We're playing for a lot of money today, Reese. There's a lot of money. But before we get to the money, let's get to the points. How can players actually earn points to be able to make some money? Well, as you can see at the bottom, you receive 2 points per elimination. Players are going to start receiving their placement points once they hit that top 75 and all the way until they hit first place to total up to 30 points for that victory royale, along with any other eliminations you get.
Yeah. So realistically, what we're looking at is roughly 15 eliminations equal a victory royale. So very, very placement heavy still. And you're looking for those kind of top 5 finishes being the big ones. But this is what's all up to play for, the prizing. Being first, being the champion, let's be real. That's what all these players are playing for. They're competitive players. They have the spirit in them that they want to win the championship. But look, the prizing is not too shabby either. First with 150,000. The first, kind of second and third, all top 3 placements, all are over $100,000 prize pools here today, settled across the 6 games. That is a big, big prize pool to play for. It's going to be very tense.
Yeah, and look, you got to remember, some of the players have already been competing this week in some of the skills challenges. They've already been able to make some money this week. Thomas HD tweeting out, I've made 7K from the skill challenges. Let's make that 150. Add 150K to that. Let's make it 157,000 and go from there. So, a lot of those players are going to be confident. There's a lot of money on the line and high stakes, incredibly high stakes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the players that have come from last season's FNCS already performing as well. You know what? Their performance and their kind of confidence is gonna be sky high. They've been in the stack finals already. Some huge names that we've seen. The Resins, the Savages, all these kind of players who a lot of people have got in their sidelines today. They're gonna be feeling confident as well with a lot of the community backing them too.
And that's why we call this the All-Star Showdown. So many big names going head-to-head, clashing on the island. It's going to be insane. And this being the first, tournament on the brand new season, there's going to be a lot that unfolds before us. We're going to be seeing a ton of things we've never seen before, and I'm looking forward to it. But first, we got to talk about drop spots, boys. And who better to tell us than the players themselves?
That's a tough one. It's just unique from all the other POIs.
This is perfect.
For competitive, I prefer Neotilit. I went there in World Cup and I know it pretty well, so I think that's why.
I definitely Neotilit because when it was in the game, there was the flying tunnels.
The nostalgia, all the memories from it. So I gotta pick Season 2 Tilted.
Ooh, I prefer Neo-Tilted. That was very fun and a lot of mobility.
Neotilit because there was the builds were very modern, and I just like the style of the city.
I would still go with Paradise here. I think it has more and better loot.
Paradise Palms, of course. There's a lot of loot as well.
I would say Frosty Flights, because back then Stumpy and Aqua were my favorite players, and I always looked up to them, and the trio of FNCS landed there and won it.
I was a bit confused back in the days when I went to Frosty, because I didn't really know the buildings well. So I prefer going Paradise.
I don't know, I just like the hotel in Paradise Palms way better.
Pretty hard question. I would say Lucky Landing, to be honest.
I'd always go to shifty shafts and like try to eliminate everyone there. So I'm gonna go with shifty shafts.
That's a tough one. Probably Lucky Landing.
Shifty is the better POI.
I would still rather land Lucky Land than Shifty Shaft. I think there's better loot.
It was just kind of refreshing when it got added to the game instead of retail, so I'll go with Mega Mall.
I like Mega Mall as well.
I would say Mega Mall for sure.
Mega Mall is like really overpowered. Like it's way better than Retail right now.
I prefer Retail, to be honest, because last season as well I landed there in the solo tournaments, and then one of them placed top 5 when I landed there.
I think Sunny Steps was better. Snobby Shores was way too far edge zone.
It was like decent loot, so I would go with Snobby.
I think Snowy Shores has more loot than Sunny Steps and more mats.
I'm gonna go with Sunny Steps. Sunny Steps was kind of a cool concept with like the stars and everything.
Snobby Shores, because I landed there in duo back then, when it was still in the game.
Guys, I miss these old POIs, I really do. But with a brand new set of POIs, locations, weapons, gear, the likes, I mean, Season 7 is fresh off the presses. We got to talk about where these players are going to be landing, especially in the solo competition. Reese 11 are going to break it all down for us, and we have maps. That's right, so let's take a look together. Let's see where these players are going. Reese 11, where do you guys want to start?
I think the big thing is obviously Believer Beach, right, which a lot of people will be familiar with. It was once called Sweaty Sands. And I think the big thing with Believer Beach in today's competition is just how many top players are going to be landing here. FourZR, Shadow, Nate, No Riley, all premiered players within the EU region, Reese. I know for sure, you know, one of these players, even not all, if all of them could have been in like a top 10 list if you were to create one. So, you know, what happens here today is going to be a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, when I look at this and I look at the 4 players in this one spot, I look at Noah really being in the power position. He's taking the full east side, which gives him the hotel control. And, you know, I made a joke about this earlier where I said he can easily disengage if, you know, the zone pulls east, but no, really, he's not going to disengage. Let's be real. Come on, like, if we know no, really, he's a fighter. Off spawn in solos in particular, we're going to see a lot more engagements going down, so you can see the hotel on the right-hand side. That's what he's kind of grabbing. We're going to have to see how much other loot he can get here, too, because obviously he has 3 other players around him. I think Shadow's landing just to the south of him, and then FourZR's also going to be up there near the water and potentially dipping up towards Coral Castle with Nate on the kind of southwest side, as you can see. But that's going to be a super interesting one. Another interesting one that I also want to look at is also where Thomas HD and Seti are landing. One of the new dish spots on the map over towards the east hand side. Now, these are 2 really good solo competitors absolutely in here, and you can see Thomas HD, his little name on the north hand side of that does suggest that he's taking the north, while as Seti on the south. Now, this is a spot that does not have enough loot for 2 people to land at. So one of the things is, I think this is where we're not going to see any engagements happen, because Thomas HD is trying to take the top, where there's going to be 2 supply crates, I think 3 chests for him as well, and he's also grabbing the turret side, which is on the west side, which has 2 more chests there. And I think Seti is going to be landing on that southwest side, away from Thomas, and potentially dipping out towards the lake house down there to grab himself some even more loot. So there's a lot of potential for these 2 to do well, but at the same time, we might see an interesting engagement come out between the 2.
Yeah, and look, you know, Seti is somebody who, in one of the more recent solo competitions we had, right, with the Gref G Cup, he won that, right? He's shown his prowess as a solo player, even though a lot of people might not necessarily see him as the favorite in this battle. I want to just take a look around the map, though, Reese, and look at all the favorites, right? Because there are, you know, so many players in this. We talk about this being the All-Stars, the premier competition within the region, but even in that, there are some players you sort of have your eye on and you think, I could definitely see this person winning it. And I think, just in general, for me, you You know, I look at the likes of Tace and the likes of Janice, the people who have won massive pieces of solo competitions in the past, right? Tace and obviously having Orchard uncontested. You know, there's not many places on the map that you're going to be able to look at today and see a player just land at a spot with plenty of loot uncontested. He probably has about, you know, 10 plus chests available to him just alone. So, you know, these are players who you want to look out for in terms of what they can do, because realistically, if Tayson doesn't get like a lot of pressure I'm about to put on him here, but if Tayson doesn't get top 10, you know, you could look at it and be like, that's disappointing, do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
everything is setting up right for him today. I really am looking forward to him and Janice and some of these other guys uncontested to really put in some work.
I mean, I think just to harp on the Tayson point, when it came to the Invitational, right? These are the last two solo big tournaments we've seen. Tayson in the Invitational and in the solo FNCS, which was 8 and 9 months ago, so a long time at this point. He came obviously 5th in the Invitational, and we know he all won the solo FNCS as well. So his average placement right now is so good. 3rd in both of these FNCSs. You know, we know Janice also won, but the thing is with these two players, they both at that time were coming out of Steamy Stacks, where we do see kind of Refsguard landing there at this point. And I think he's going to be contested there by Seahorse and also Andrea, if my memory serves me correctly too. This is the same level of congestion that this POI's had when Tayson and Janice won their respective tournaments of the kind of solo FCS and the Invitational as well. So Refsguard being such a good solo player, and I think time to put maybe potentially a championship crown on him. This is potentially looking good. Obviously, I'm being superstitious about Steamy Stacks maybe too though.
I like what you're doing. I like you're trying to, you know, look at the parallels, the similarities between the last time and this time. I think that's fair to do, but at the same time, do you know what I mean? I have my doubts, I have my worries about, you know, what's actually going to go on. Will things be like the previous solo tournaments we've seen? You know, it remains to be seen. I think if we are going to sort of move forward, looking at who we all think are going to do well individually, as the casters, as the analysts, the predictions, right? I think that's what a lot of people often want to see. Who do we as individuals think is going to win? And I think I've made it clear already. I'm rooting for Tayson. I was rooting for him previously in some of the skill challenges, and I'm rooting for him again today. I just think everything is just set up so well for him to do, you know, incredibly well in a 6-game format, where I could definitely see Tayson getting, you know, 2 or 3 good games and that being enough to do it.
And Janice, look, Zeke's, that's a good pick. We've already mentioned how good he is well. The Invitational champion. Me, Sancho, and Shayo, all Mr. Savage. I think I may have swayed them by saying I 100% think he's the best player in EU for solos right now. Look, we're all on it. We're on this Savage hype train.
Bro, we'll see. But you know what, Fortnite fam? The action begins right now. We're going on that battle bus, and we've got none other than Sancho West and Shywager standing by. So, boys, let's kick off the competition.
Thank you so much, Zeke, Levin, and Reese. Welcome to the grand show, the final part of the All-Star Showdown, the solo championship, Sancho. This is what everyone has been waiting for. 100 of the best players from both seasons, people from the play-ins. It's about to get real.
And what I like about it the most, Shayo, is that there's about 10 people who have the potential chance of walking away with life-changing money. But at the same time, this is solos. Literally anything could happen, and someone could come out of nowhere. We could have a Seahorse winning it all. I mean, that's what's so exciting about today's event.
No, absolutely. And, you know, you saw the predictions, you see the high-profile players. Usually, it's so easy to predict or follow one team coming in a trios competition, right? You have 3 of the best players on a team, but with solos, like, there are too many people who can do well here. You're going to have to expect the unexpected out of some of the top players in the world. And the format as well, it kind of favors elims and placement as well. It's going to be very top-heavy, though, Sancho. A lot of these guys will have to do so much more than their maximum potential to make it past these 6 games.
Exactly, and you're looking at about what Levin would say about 2.5 games of optimal performance to be able to close it out, to be able to walk away with that grand prize. And right now, what I'm looking in for is who's going to be able to survive some of these contested drop spots. We already highlighted a couple, and no doubt one that everybody out there has their eye on is the fight between Benji and Pink. If that goes down there at that dish area, that's going to be very interesting to see who survives. But my eye is always going to be on who walks away with the first victory royale, because that's going to be one of those statements that we're all gonna go like, okay, this person, it is their day to day.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of a soft reset this season too. Not many POIs were changed coming into this completely. Some additions here or there, some new small landmarks around the map. You're mentioning the dish, right? That's where one of those fights might break down. You know, with solos as well, you're coming off of a team play type of scenario. A lot of people might be displaced or going to older spots where newer players now have a little bit of comfortability. We saw a little bit of it in Season 6's finals, right? Some up-and-comers facing against champions. That might happen again, Sancho. And in solos, you don't have a teammate to rely on. down, you can't really do pinches as much. It's all you, your shots, and your builds.
And that is why, I mean, you and I both predicted 100 Thieves, Mr. Savage will be able to win and walk away as the champion today. I mean, there's just something about Savage that we all know that arguably is one of the best solo players in the world, an Anaheim DreamHack champion, and at the same time, I think his drop spot is very clean, pristine point, way up there in those houses. You're gonna have to be on, like, so much confidence to be able to contest him because there's not a lot of loot up there, and those 50-50s up in those houses are very dangerous to contest.
No, very, very steep, very dangerous indeed. And when it comes to Savage in general, the reason that, I think a lot of people are riding with him is because even if he doesn't end up in the lead at the start of the competition, he's always somewhere in the top 3, in the top 5, all the way by game 6. But we're talking about game 1. You were talking about seeing VRs. It's all about momentum in solo. So who will take that first game as all our players are getting ready to jump off that battle bus?
All our competitors are in the battle bus ready to go. Here is the Fortnite Island waiting for 100 players to drop in. This is going to be game 1, and it's always going to be intense. And if anything could be like the FNCS trios, we saw a very hot start. It is time for game 1. Let's go. A lot of people are already on the ground. Thomas HD taking shots, Cammy, but it is match 1 Shio wager. Let's see who's going to be able to walk away with that first victory royale.
Yeah, some people already looted, have full setups, while others are all the way in the sky. Misty players will be slightly late, but I'm looking at it just off-spawn contestation right now for some of the top players is not happening. Thomas HD having that dish for free. Where is Seti is the question. Probably slightly lower, going for that island house. Oh, there he is actually inside. I was actually assuming this man would be looting that lake house and everything below it, but he's actually looking to steal a little bit of Thomas's loot and then maybe go down and control that south side. Very risky, but smart and sneaky in game 1.
We already seen some people going down the feed. Floki taking out Jerky, Mappy taking out Vidil. Those two are going head-to-head in their drop spots, and so that was so exciting to see already off the drop. But I'm surprised Vidil, one of the best part of that. You talked about this is not a trios competition. We always say that is a great fighting trio, and Vidil already going down to Mappy.
Yeah, let's talk about how thick the server basically is now, right? Like, usually you have 33 different types of squads or entities fighting each other. Right now, 99 in total, different lines of sights, different plans are going to be up against each other head-to-head. Even if you're at the same POI, it doesn't really work the same. You can't track a mass of players moving. You have more chances to be sneaky. You see Noah Riley here just moving around, making sure he's getting every single weapon, but at the same time, keeping an eye on these windows because he's in a very hot spot right now on Believer Beach in the center at the dance floor. Anyone can roll in sneakily and take him out. 4ZR is here too. Shadow looting up as well with Nate beside him. What a legendary shot here. Some of the best players EU has to offer.
Best players in the EU region, yes, and already Vino picking up his stereos. Vino's one of those dark horses that may be able to win. Didn't really have a successful Season 6, didn't really compete in the FNCS. Season 5 had a coming out party, as you've seen here. Shakos picking up Sapphic in the feed. This is what people are playing for. Victory Royale, worth 30 points, second place 25, third place 22, fourth place 20, and of course each elim's worth 2 points. You've got to keep an eye on that top 10 because that's when the placement points will be really doled out. And here, 4ZR had a great momentum cup in that Euro Cup. He was able to walk away with first place. And if you've seen some of his YouTube clips of him going to work, he is very dangerous and he could also walk away with the entire thing, Shio.
Yeah, when it comes to solos, they've kind of been an added flavor all throughout the year. Some third-party competitions here or there. The DreamHacks rolling in as well on the back half of last year. The main course, though, now is what it is, and we have that first fight. Noah Riley on 4ZR's walls. We'll see exactly if he can take him over. No skill challenges this time. You have to combine all the different types of ways to fight inside the game. Boom! Ramp comes down. 4ZR has to switch up. Boom! A second ramp. This man has no control inside his box. He doesn't even have the back wall to be able to edit through. Noah Riley putting down the pressure. 4ZR and kind of steep waters. There's a pool below him. If one of those floors goes down, he could drown. And Noah Riley's really putting on the pressure from all different sides. Finally almost getting it, but now it's hard walls right next to him. What a nice ramp to block that left shot. Everyone here is literally having spider sense reactions to every shot and wall changing in front of him. And Noah Riley, he's a little bit faster than 4ZR, it looks like right now. No player landed a shot yet. He's on the front wall, getting him trapped. Hasn't hit the right edit. 62 damage. Noah Riley. Boom, another one. 4ZR now a little bit halfway on HP. He takes a big shot, throwing us down to 4 HP.
that gray pump put some big critical damage on Noah Riley, and he has no point to retreat. ForZR needed that shot, Shio, just to give him a moment to breathe, to starve off that big push from Noah Riley. What a great response, and now we have another stalemate. And these are the dangers of these kind of engagements. The longer they get drawn out, the better. I mean, Noah Riley is one of the ones in the entire EU region who has the ability to close out these one-on-one engagements fast. And right now, ForZR is putting up a fight.
Yeah, those one-on-one engagements happen in those team modes where you can isolate people, use that big pressure, control the whole fight. But I'm just looking at some friction right now, not actually complete closure. And Noah Riley will try to get a few things done. A third party possibly coming in from the right side as well. Maybe Nate wants to take a bite out of this fight. But you got to remember, zone's not here. In solos, every single shot can kind of change your trajectory, kind of pinball you around the map as you're trying to move. You got to be careful and not only be aware of the fights you're taking, but how much time they take and then where you have to move. So we'll see some big disengagements from some very, very high profile players in some of the biggest spots on the map.
What a great collision between two Titans early on. We highlighted this Believer Beach contested drop spot in the Analyst desk portion, showing that there are some great players here. Here is another great player in the EU region. My pick, Shio's pick, Mr. Savage. And a lot of the fan favorites out there with the Chug Cannon. This is going to be a great utility item for him at endgame. It's going to give him some ability to chunk some storm. At the same time, he could just survive just a little bit longer and get those valuable placement points. And I like what Savage has done here, coming down from Pristine Point, rotating over here to this leftover Guardian Tower from the Primal season, getting those valuable Storm Surge tags.
Now you can also see the difference between a sole proprietor on this map versus a company man. You have a POI that has so many different people in it. You're basically trying to work up those employee ranks and be the king of your drop spot. Meanwhile, if you're landing by yourself, you have to be proactive in getting that surge, dealing that damage. So Savage, he's going for the positions. Meanwhile, lots of people are holed out in barns, houses, and weird fields to make sure they can get their damage done and also not drop the ball and get picked off by someone else at their POI.
We're now taking a look at another favorite here, Janice, a solo champion, walking away, coming from Risky Reels, now possibly change the draw spot now in Corny Complex, or possibly rotated here. Does not have a lot of power behind it, so he's going to be looking for that refresher. We're seeing more engagement happen throughout the map here. This is Kiko and Juku going north side of the retail row here in a little scrum themselves. Placement points have yet to be doled out. They will start at the 75th place here. Just taking a look here, Vidil and Jerky down and out of this competition. So big names are already falling early, and a lot of big names still alive, like Tayson.
Benji Fishy also eliminated for now, and you get to see the kind of cerebral game in solos kind of start to go. Usually, you're fighting for control of some of these higher portions on the map, so you have a better vantage point to take shots. When it's solos, though, you have some room to kind of, you know, get in there with other players, get in there with other entities and share these locations. Right now, Vortexer is going to be facing off against Tayson on Zay Hill, overlooking the north side of the map. It's not going to be free to take shots, and sometimes you possibly might be forced to fight. Vortex getting slightly closer to Tayson. This is a fight you might not want to take, my friend, but he's looking good with it on the aggression.
Vortex is not afraid to fight, and 108, and he takes out Tayson with ease. Vortex coming from the all-star plan, and he was a fighter, and he wasn't afraid of anything, and he's showing here today amongst the all-stars. He's not afraid, and he takes out another big-time favorite. Shio, my breath skipped a beat because he went down. I was like, is Vortex really taking this fight? And yes, he did. He took it, and he took out Tayson. Wow.
It's been a while since we've kind of had solos be that main focus. Many different types of playstyles are going to be rolling into this. Let's look at one of his previous elims too. I mean, this man is aggressive. Every time he sees an opportunity to strike,
that was a two-piece?
He not only goes for it. Yeah, this is like this is his game entirely right now.
Okay,
he not only goes for the fight, he actually ends up hitting that big shot as well. So huge there right now. Yeah, friend request.
Oh my God, you got a friend request.
Nah, it's huge. It's huge. Vortex is looking so aggressive right now, and he has control of one of the best spots on the map too. Sniper rifle in hand, could go for some crazy long-range damage as well. So far, that close-range box fight shotgun type of fight is what he's looking for.
Already some big eliminations happening here. We have Ardent, who had a very great successful run in the FNCS with Fastroki and Pizza. definitely punched his ticket into these All-Star Solo Showdown by an 18th place finish back in Chapter 2, Season 5. Now we have 4ZR, which is one of my other picks that I thought would do well if you had to press me for a top 5. Gets right into the box, unable to get the clean hits that he was looking for. But my question is, 4ZR, even though he had that great pump, he did put a lot of damage to Noah Riley here, but I mean, how much can you rely on the power of that great pump, though?
Sometimes you got to do what you have to do in solos. It might not be about the power of your loot, but basically just how you use it entirely. You have so many ways to fight on your own, delay certain fights, but once again, 4ZR does not have zone. Still needs that damage. He had a big shot on Noah Riley, but isn't enough to really get by Surge. We'll explain that in a second, as he's still stuck in this underground maze against Jetsku. This man has his back against the wall. 4ZR, Pyramid, Cone's right beside him, but he gets to escape out. What a close range, scary fight.
And you're seeing the differences of the different metas. You know, before in other solos, we had different abilities to get inside of boxes. You've seen crash pads. You have very unique ways to push your way through. And 4ZR now is going to have to deal with this middle defense that Jetsku's putting up. And you see Belix there, the Italian, making the rotation, coming in from the All-Star out in the distance. But this fight's not over just yet. And looking at the power in the blue pump, it's in Jetsku's side here. But 4ZR gets in the box. It's a deadly 50-50. Out goes the ARs, and Jetsku takes out 4ZR. And I have to say that battle with Noah Riley wounded 4ZR just enough for Jetsku to definitely take advantage. Wow. Big names already gone, Shayo.
Definitely a lot of early game shakeups going on around the map. Now we move on to the section of, you know, going for a good spot, making sure when you're in zone, you're staying in a very good, you know, position entirely compared to everyone around you. You saw what happens when you're stuck in the dirt with 4ZR right there. You know, any type of player can come in and take you out when they're slightly aggressive. Fastroki playing it very smart. If you guys were paying attention to trios, the way Fastroki beats an Ardent play when they're just, you know, attacking this game, and you can see Pizza right below Fastroki as well, they like to just react to what other players are doing around them. Be in safe spots first, observe, and then attack. So that's why he's going for such high positions, gathering information on everyone else. And that's why you'll see people like Nate in their cones beside other boxes. Noah Riley's right there too. Once again, two players from the same POI. They're gathering as much information, the patterns that people might be making on edits as well. Every single little thing gives away a little bit about another player, and it might make you, you know, a little bit more comfortable to rotate earlier, take an extra shot, edit faster. And right now, Jetsku, he's kind of pushing his limits on how far this base can get. Lots of brick to actually mine around. He's still almost not really in zone, so he'll have to make his way in a little bit more.
You're seeing just the differences between trios and solos, people inching their way. You're not seeing some erratic movement going towards center as you would see some trios would make in a vehicle, and that's not it. It's just all about getting in and just holding it out and making sure maybe zone comes your way. We're still in the second zone here, and now we got our first taste of the Storm Surge here with Jetsku, 138 above. 17 players will have to go down if they're not past that threshold. If you're passive, you will get penalized, and that is the kind of the danger and the lethality of Storm Surge. As you can see here, this is the most stacked FNCS in history with 334 final trips amongst the players. And I'm still surprised that Vortex took that taste. And like, this is the kind of day that Vortex is having. We all got to keep an eye out here. But this is another engagement. Noah Riley taking another big name in the EU region, and Nate.
Hey, with solos, the Kevlar these guys have from reputation, I mean, it's not unpierceable. And right here, too, Nate, he's actually shooting down on Noah Riley, getting actually him focused right now in these boxes. There's so many people who are looking at this zone line. This better be the most stacked FNCS we're looking at in history. It's the All-Stars, baby, and so many big names. We'll see a few more go down. Floki taking away Hen. Slender going down to Chulex as well. We saw Chulex in so many aggressive type rotations and positions, looking and hunting for a player to get. Noah Riley will be able to reset once more, but okay, he just dropped his shotgun for now. I was wondering, what happened to your loadout, my man? It's looking shambles.
Vortex still on the aggressive side, picks up another elim on Erkin. And right now, you have to worry about Nate. I believe Nate is really close to that threshold here. About 7 players have to go down, and now you have to look at this as well, Shayo. Nate's the only player remaining from that trio of 4ZR and Tayson. They came 3rd place in the last FNCS season here. Yes, now he's 121 above, but he still has Noah Riley knocking on his front doorstep here. and the knocks are getting louder, and they're getting a little bit scarier. But again, they're not afraid of Noah Riley. Responded with an 87 tag just to hold him off. I'm just not seeing Noah Riley being able to finish off these fights as he used to quickly. Oh no!
He doesn't have the extra juice in his step, no actual utility to use right now inside his loadout, and it's so difficult to just go and try to penetrate these walls of Nate or of other players as well over and over again, because these guys are hyper aware. They're more so on the defensive. Some more of those cerebral players are looking to make sure that they don't actually get caught down by the W queues of the lobby. Nate here, once again, has such a long base, too, that even though Riley ends up, controlling one piece, getting another, he has so much of a safety net, so many different panic rooms he can stay in, and now his zone moves. He has a pepper as well he can use to actually get away and maybe even stay in the fight slightly, and boom, right-hand beat.
Wow.
He gets the advantage, he gets the pick down, he has the speed to catch up with the zone.
And almost had a taste of endgame there of just letting the storm kind of push your opponent forward, and you're just literally sitting there with your gun out, waiting for them to pickaxe through or edit through or crash through, and Nate taking advantage right there. But now Nate is getting in a very precarious situation, has to work his way out of the aftermath and get his way forward to move, push forward. He's so close to the, it's not a very long rotation, as you see all our competitors making the rotation towards the safe zone. Right now, Mr. Savage following some of his resume. Oh my, no! Oh no! The sniper has been unvaulted and takes out Mr. Savage in a blink of an eye.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That shot being just fired across the map. I don't even know by who. Sends Savage straight back to the lobby, and Dreda will have to basically catch up to his ghost on the same type of rotation. He was so far ahead of everyone else as well. This man was riding the biggest tidal wave in position, in pressure, and now it comes crashing down. Raxo also putting down pressure, but almost even taking fall damage. It's chaos, and it's just the third zone. No one can make it in. Janice taking out Jaku, Raxo going down. Everyone just makes boxes beside each other. There's like 9 different people here who are struggling, rotating with the zone.
Who would have known the northeast side of this map would have so much traffic coming on this rotation here? And now you're seeing the box fights ring out here. Nas trying to defend 2 different fronts. Mappy, who's already taken out the deal here just next door. You're hearing the chug cannon. This is just the early game chaos that's happening right here in the All-Star Showdown solo event.
We'll have insurance activated now as Chulex goes down to eye drop. Launch pads are a big thing added this season, and just changing the way end games are played and rotations happen past that third zone. Some people might look to actually end up using this magical device to actually get ahead and get inside that fourth zone and then look to recycle. Some of these positions seem impossible to rotate from. You can just see right in front of Vanas right there. There's a huge uphill incline. That's where you're gonna get headshot. That's where you're gonna have to use upwards of 2,000 builds, and as a solo player, you don't have that option. You don't have that many mats to be able to use. So, I mean, Stompy, everyone here in this little apartment complex are gonna have trouble really getting control of this next zone.
You're seeing Wakey getting an elim as well. Seti still in this fight. Stompy Right still in this fight. We just had this horn go off, and now the zone's about to close. Seti picking up Virox. Seti, one of those other people that does really decently well in solos. You know, you could talk about Seti, Cammy, and Teak, and you don't really think about Seti so much when it comes to solos, but still, someone who could win it all. Red Rush takes out Knifer.
Stompy and a bunch of other people in trouble, though. We have to wait for 9 people to go down for this next surge threshold. Pay attention to the number above that mini-map. Basically, if they're underneath, if that number literally falls under that graphic, these guys are in trouble. They need to do damage, or they'll get dealt damage too by the server, by the map. It's to make sure everyone's active inside while they're playing and making sure, you know, everyone in the server is staying very, very aggressive.
I just saw underneath the reason it is Vortex. Vortex has been the grim dealer of eliminations here, going after anybody that's near him, so Reason has to be careful. Janice picked up a limb. Let's take a look at the replay here. Janice, who's been working very steadily, picking up Nebs there, catches him with a ramp made out of soft mats, gets an easy elim with the beams.
And that's just an example of the pro radar, knowing exactly what's happening around you in a 3x3 box, knowing who's where, what pressure they're taking, where the shield pop's coming around. He knows exactly where Nebs was, shot through 2 different builds and gets that elimination. So huge there from Janice, and we'll see exactly what will happen straight up next. Silence around the map right now as people are getting ready for this next rotation. 30 seconds to basically allocate what your next move is going to be. Chapix, quite a dangerous game here, my man, but the loadout, that also looks very, very scary. He has the best tools and loot, basically, to attack this end game, and has a gas can inside there as well that could really set the server ablaze. Look at Reason, though. A two-piece from where he was sitting, Sancho, and he took out Vortex, too.
Yeah, Vortex has been the one that's been really aggressive, taking on the big names, but just could not handle Reason right there. Nate shoots on through, and look at the loot. You talked about the loot on the other side, but Reason has some really great in-game loot. He has the pepper, he has the chug cannon, so he's gonna have the movement and he has the builds. My only concern for Chapman's side of things, Shayo, is that he did not have a lot of builds, and I think he's looking for a refresher.
No, absolutely. And even though Reason has tons of loot, he's not going to be in the best spot looking for the refresh, Sancho. You're right, he was going for it. Michael ends up taking him out. If you can't really build in the end game, are you allowed to play? Server says no, and he's gone. Now we look at, oh my God, a beautiful sight top down. Look at all the names ready to attack this end game. Everyone inside zone waiting to see what they can do next. Janus will be your pilot for this trip. He has the highest point of elevation right now, and he's actually getting challenged here by Pizza, who just like in trios, overtakes, looks for the half and half, gets aggressive, but it's all on him now. No teammates, no dynamic height retakes. It's just gonna be up to him to stay above Janus and stay above EU.
Janus is using his AR to get most of these elims, so it's keeping him clean. He hasn't really had too many engagements box to box. It's all from distance, and sometimes in a solo event, being able to sneak away to take those eliminations are going to be a huge. Right now, we're got to get close to another placement point threshold here. Once it crosses into the top 40, another point will get doled out. It's the top 10 they're going to be looking at, because so much placement points will be doled out, and of course, with every elim worth 2, it's going to be a big bonus. At the same time, Analyst, newly signed to Falcon here, is a name that we've been hoping for to make a resurgence back to glory here. Andalex, who had a bad run in the FNCS, went all the way from the back of the pack, moved all the way to 7th with his trios. One of those names, Andalex, is looking forward to have a great day today.
Endgame starting up though. Gliders up in the sky. Andalex is a very forward front position, but once again, 50 different lines of sight. Now down to 40 Elocrats going down the zone. Andalex has to be careful. King Michael on his right side. This man is lethal with the bump. Andalex sneaking in, almost has the shot, but the wall blocks him. Going right in, diving, no cause for respect. This man doesn't care. Andalex gets a huge upgrade. Oh, another invasion from a different nation. He just turns on that man, and oh my God, a second one to just defuse right there. Andalex gets to survive. But that is taken out. Each box is being observed, is being analyzed by 5 different players. If you trip up for even a second, you're going to be taken out.
Thomas HC looking for those trip bugs. Does he pick up High Chris? I believe that was Toos that was able to close that out. You know, he did pick up High Chris there. He was able to take that away, and he picks up Swag as well. Some nice illuminations from Thomas HD. Now he's just going to need some mats here because he's only down to 15 metal. He has mats on the other side of the wall. He has attack, and the attack is real. A 2-piece from Thomas HD. Let's go.
Clear resolutions in his mind, but up top it's Vino. Play-in mastermind looking to see exactly what he can do up. Hot fish in tow as well. He lands down once again. What good control he has over the top of the server. Thomas HD now, he's actually losing a little bit of control. On the backside getting focused, metal builds, but now he's down to none. We'll see exactly what he can do as he walks in. The server now thinning out. Vino getting another. Malibuka goes down. Shizo is getting Reason inside the feed. Top 7 situation. Thomas HD is the lucky number who gets down at the very end, and Mr. J is the one to take him out. Vino running out of mats as well. He has 4 to his name to decide what to do next. He might have to hide out down below though. And done. Fastroki, they're battling it out. It's a 5-man game.
It's all of a sudden we hit in-game and we blinked in an eye. It's almost over here. It's a top 4 situation. Fastroki coming in from the play-in track here with 4 eliminations. Still a name in the EU region, looking for some respect here. Down to only 3 builds. It's the chug cannon that's going to give him the ability to go a little bit survive. And yes, he finds some very valuable builds. Even 7 is just enough. He's looking for more loot out there. He sees someone out front and done there on the backside of the storm, getting pressured here. Fastroki gets tagged just a bit. But Shizo now is at height. What happened to Vino? What happened to Vino?
Vino might have got taken out. Fastroki's looking for the match to actually get. These guys are not even fighting for position. They're fighting for a player and enemy Graves. They finally get a few more mats, actually all out. Mr. J goes down in Storm. It's 1v1, and Fastroki has nothing in the build department to defend himself. Shizo has a few more, goes for the shot, misses it, but the AR is there to back up, and he takes away the first game of All-Star Solo Showdown.
6 eliminations and the victory royale. Let's take a look at that final moment. Was able to snatch away the high ground from Vino, and it was all textbook from then on out. Just send down the builds, send down the beams, and just so many nice tags on Fast Roki. But what an unbelievable start here to the All-Star Showdown solo. We have more highlights to look over, and Vortex was definitely a highlight of this match.
No, honestly, Sancho, I don't even know what's going on. People have height. People are, just popping off left and right, but at the same time, they're not holding on to the very end and winning the game. The stuff we're used to seeing, the consistency, it's not here. You expect Savage to have a great rotation, he gets sniped. You expect, Noah Riley to be able to dive into boxes, he gets beat. Reason as well goes down earlier in the feed. When I said expect the unexpected, that is 100% the theme for today.
We are going to need the analyst desk to break this all down. Let's kick it to Reese, Levin, and our host, Zeke.
Guys, thank you so much. This first game, whoa! Literally all the high-profile players we thought were like, oh yeah, we'll see them. Top 10, no problem. Boom, headshot sniped. Boom, picked up on rotations. What is going on, Levin?
Look, there's so much going on, and I think that's what you get with solos. We can sit here and, give you all the analysis and show you the genuine favorites with genuine reason, but at the same time, you will have this where you just have switch-ups, where you have top players who will come out of nowhere, and we saw that all throughout the game. All throughout the game, we saw these big players going down. To start off the game, pretty interesting stuff with, I believe, is Beach. This crazy fight between O'Reilly and Fuzio. We wanted to know how those guys would interact at Believers Beach, and both of them came out of it well, but at the same time didn't necessarily have the best of games.
Yeah, they didn't, that fight they disengaged and then met later on, but we just saw Vortex popping off in the feed as well. He was one of the people that actually came through the play-ins and was performing so well, just eliminating everyone, fight after fight after fight after fight, which was huge to watch. But Queasy was a player that I think we were both looking forward to do really well, and going down so early in game one is definitely a tough one for him.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting to see now moving forward. You can see Mrs. Savage being headshot sniped here. Absolutely unfortunate. Reason's a player who we didn't get to speak much about, but definitely someone to keep your eyes on. There is just so much chaos, Reese, and I think the players who will thrive are the players who can survive in this chaos. And it's weird because you see these players who have crazy levels of skill, the Atomic HDs of the world. That's the difference sometimes in solos in these end games. Can you just pop off? Can you hit back-to-back tack shots, back-to-back pump shots to be in the right position in those later stages of the game? And of course, Thomas HD is one of the players who can do it. Shizo as well, showing he can do it, winning out the game as well. Look, I'm just rattled, Reese. I am absolutely rattled. I don't even know what to expect moving forward now. Shizo's sitting in first place after that victory hour with 6 eliminations. For Strokey in second, Mr. J Lucky in third. I want to believe that they can continue on this. Maybe this is first game jitters for some players. I don't want to overreact, but at the same time, I'm like, what is happening? Like, is this going to be like this every game?
I think when we're looking at this top 10 here, most of these names we were not predicting from the start. Again, it's game one. We only know we don't want to look too much into the leaderboards too much, but same as Shizo, for Strokey, and Mr. J, all of those come out of game one. I don't think any of us predicted to be a top 3 to start with. I am going to give my shout out to my boy Andon for being 7th there. He came 4th in that game with a single elimination. A player I've been hyping up a ton last season, and in trios in particular, as a new up-and-coming solo player. Won so many cash cups, so many other tournaments as well, already putting it into place in the first game of this. But again, looking over to the next page, 11th down till 20th, these are the players who started to put it together but really weren't necessarily to get their foot off the ground. We saw Reason with 2 eliminations in that game in basically a spectacular fashion, as always. Low ground in that 5th zone, but fumbling a bit after that.
Of course, right? You can expect these things. I think the big thing, right, is like you said, the players in that top 10 aren't necessarily the players who we were hard predicting, but yet you can make solid cases for every single one of them as to why they are a top solo player or why they should be respected in that manner. And look, moving forward, some of the off-spawn engagements, we saw a bunch of top players going down early off spawn, losing fights you may not have thought they would. Like the first fight of the game, Mappy versus Vidil. Who would you expect to win that one? If you're sitting at home right now, who do you think is going to win between Mappy and Vidil? You think Vidil, right? He didn't. Went down 99th place or 100th place, whatever. This is getting crazy. I can't wait to see what happens now in this next game in terms of off-spawn and even towards the later stages of the game. It's going to be crazy.
Bro, it's insane. And this was just game one. We have 5 more ahead of us. We're going right back aboard the battle bus. So Sancho West Shy Wager, back over to you guys.
I wanted to stay on the desk, Sancho. I'm not ready for this. Like, after that first game, I'm coming in with, like, you know, okay, I'm going to analyze this. I got expectations set for that. But I threw them all out the window while these guys were on camera. Like, what do we do?
I mean, we were just talking about it in the break, everybody. I was like, man, the end game just in the blink of an eye. We were just talking about we're entering our first moving zone here, and all of a sudden, everyone just got eliminated. And Shizo, an unexpected name, was able to walk away with the victory royale. But it just shows you this is the All-Star Showdown solos. There are so many people who made it to the finals in previous seasons with trios, and as well, I'm quite surprised that those top 10 play-in players are actually making some noise here today.
Yeah, we're used to, like, kind of, you know, I'll put this in an analogy, a little bit of a striped pattern usually of, you know, these very high tier players struggling towards the very end. Right?
Yeah.
The end game is what tricks them out, some of those zones. It feels like we switched from stripes to maybe zigzags and polka dots right now, because early game is where they're actually the ones that are having the most trouble, right? Those smaller, earlier fights, they're going down, the third and fourth zone rotations. It's not even Surge that's taking them out. It's other people in their boxes, Sancho.
You know, you talked about patterns. Well, I mean, the 90s fashion is making way back, and all those patterns are always clashing, man. You got stripes here, polka dot here, zebra print, all in the same shirt. You rocking the vibe, I'm rocking the vibe, but everybody here, the vibe is real. It's match 2, and if anything could be like indication what match 2 can be, it could be anything. It could be anything. So many people going down to the big names. We had Noah Riley, Savage, Teak all go down in the early game, but here we go, Shio. Match 2. The bus is going north to south, almost even split, and look at that looming shadow of their mothership. And man, it's going to be an end of times for some of the big names, but maybe a new name could make a big surprise and show out and stand tall at the end of the day.
And our focus is usually those final zones, but right now, if you're following the top players, pay attention right now to loadouts, how fast these guys are moving, who's around them in POIs. Right now, no one's even gone down to the feed just yet, so definitely people playing it safe all around. I'm very, very curious in seeing exactly how these guys switch up their games in the first and second zone. You know, all these people who are so aggressive and playing in box fights, why is it that they're not actually claiming names, taking elims away in 30 seconds like they usually do? Why is Believer Beach so slow compared to before, where the fights break out fast and the box fights are committed to, right? What are the changes we're going to see this game, Sancho?
That's what we all have our eyes on. Now we may have a repeat battle between Forziar and Noah Riley, but now Forziar is in a big world of hurt here. Took some big beams and it gets eliminated quickly. That is the speed that we're used to Noah Riley. Maybe it was just a couple of first game jitters, but we all know that statistically he's one of the fastest working players, and now we just show that. And Vidil returns the receipt to Mappy, so it's a 1-to-1 on that fight as well.
I see what it was. These guys were just loading in the skill, and it took an extra little bit of a game to get these guys really, really rolling. So this might be the clap back we were waiting for. This is an extra time a little bit in that hyperbolic time chamber. Flecken taking out Diablo. Man, it is actually brother versus brother all the way over at the Shark. I was very curious as to how that would break down. Usually you see teammates being a little bit passive on these POIs, but no holds barred on EU. They don't care who's dropping beside them. After that first game, Sancho, these guys know what they need to do, and that's just stick to their game, be confident, and take anyone out.
Yo, you know, sometimes, you know, red's a great color, but green is a little bit better, you know what I mean? And when you're talking about the prize of $150,000 on the line for first place, hey, sometimes you gotta take out your old teammate. Sometimes you gotta take out your friend coordinate, whatever you call it, the friend culture these days. But my eye is right now on those big names that went down early. We'll definitely keep an eye on the feed to see where it all goes down. But wow, so far, I'm just so surprised to see the dangers of solos, you know? Walking around, you think you have a free rotation, boom, sniper comes out of nowhere, headshot. I'm still looking for, you know, who was the person that took out Mr. Savage. I'm like, yo, who took him out? Because that was a really nice shot.
That was faster than usual. I'm not surprised. You know, the stuff that goes down in solo. That sniper, I was expecting it somewhere, but for it to happen on Savage was the most surprising part. I'm still looking out. And, you know, more flabbergasted of the fact that there's 4, almost 5 people making it off spawn from Believer Beach. Every single game is going to be looking like now. And then past that, every other POI as well. I mean, it's going to be split pretty evenly. I would expect a little bit more friction.
One of the things I was surprised in is it feels like every FNCS, every set lobby, there's always a traffic zone, a high contested, maybe someone out there in the highway closed down a lane, right? And so far, coming from the northeast down to the south, there were so many solo players on that. We had like 10 to 12 coming down that rotation, and that's what happened to Savage. He was making his way down that rotation. He was in front of that lead, that pack, and then he gets sniped. So we got to keep an eye on that. I remember so many ones of all down south, down there in the slurp area with the Russians, right? They had so much problems getting out of that rotation, making their way towards center. You saw in the wedge between Weeping Woods and Slurp Factory being a hotbed for so much action here as Mr. Savage is making his rotation to the Dinky Ditch. And this is where Anas is, so Anas is already left. So Savage, knowing that, is going to be able to vulture and maybe find anything that he could find. Maybe the scraps could maybe lead him to a great run here today.
I was going to just top off on Metal right there. The deal in a fight with Clement. That's a very hard shot to hit too. He actually gets it down while reloading and editing at the same time. 1-4 kind of separating them, and yeah, I would expect Clement to actually go down. Is that a boat firing missiles? It is. And it ruins Clement's chances at control and having a base. I'm expecting a big pump shot here from Vidil. He hits it once. Can he get it twice to round out and finish this fight?
Wow.
There it is. Clement not even on his screen. He's throwing his mouse off the desk to hit that one. That was a big shot, and Irazumi's the one to help out with the third party from far away.
That was about a flick that went all the way across full screen, and that is the tracking that Vidil has here. Irazumi, who's also landing here in the aftermath, sending in those shots, and Vidil says, hey man, I remember that, and gave him a 22 tag for his troubles. And I just got received word there in the last match, it was Mosh that sniped Mr. Savage. So we'll now keep an eye on that going forward. Noah Riley here, who's been very active here in Believer Beach, and this is what he's known for. This is his strat. That is his Storm Sword strategy. And Blueback picks up Analyst there in the feed. So another big name going down early. I think this is what's going to happen all day. You know, big names are going to go down early, but this is the ride of solos. All you need is 2.5 matches here. So even though the fans of Savage, the fans of Benji are worried about their favorite players, don't worry, they still have time to work with.
Bat Sniper coming in for the play-ins as well. Seeing if he can fully just milk out that earned spot here today. One of 10 players who are rolling in. About to run into Tayson here at a checkpoint, but he's not looking for his license registration. He's looking for pain. So Bat Sniper's like, all right, I'll go off-road for it instead. Stop now. That vehicle is completely out of service. Bat Sniper was not expecting to run out of free rotation this quickly. He's basically stranded on the side of the road, and there is no pickup truck that's coming to save him now, Sancho. He has to run on his feet. He's actually getting his car stolen. Vidil, you cheeky man. He just ends up getting a little bit of ground with that one. He's like, okay, that's free, I guess. Now, Bat Sniper, he's stranded.
This is what I mean when it comes down to the competitive play of Fortnite, especially in solos. We've all been there. It doesn't matter if you played in pubs or Team Rumble, where someone all of a sudden, you shoot at them and they respond and they beam you twice. That's what happened to Tayson. He thought he had some nice shots, and Bat Sniper, in the quick turn, was able to get some big 40-plus tags here. And now we're going to go to another big name in the region, Hen. Hen, I thought would definitely be someone who could be aggressive here, who have the chance to win it all. So far, no points. But I just know, you know, he's usually landing at Misty Meadows. We've seen this man win an NA East solo cash cup, right? This is someone that thrives in solos, and if you look at his average placements in the FNCS solos and solo invitational, it's superbly like top 10 material here. So far, Hen is one of those names as well that I'm expecting to do, but it all depends on if he could just get away from Jules. Jules has been that person that even he kind of slowed down Analyst during the FNCS trio, so that's not an easy name to take out as well.
Well, absolutely. We'll see Vortex as well moving through the center of the map, where the game ended last time, actually. So we're going straight towards the south. You guys know what that means. A potential for mountains, a potential for valleys and rivers where things really get interesting, and literally your position sometimes does not matter. Bounce backs happen left and right here and there. What I'm liking and seeing, though, is a change of pace for a lot of people inside EU, especially when the zone goes towards the south. Everyone's more spread out. People are moving slightly early. You saw Bat Sniper with the vehicle. Janice making sure that, you know, he's chilling as well. And very good on rotation alongside Vidil. Even here towards the south side, Hen. He has the zone, but he's not actually staying static the entire time. He's moving around, covering ground, and owning a lot of space. Jules also right beside him on a higher point. Everyone's being as dynamic as possible. They're not trying to stay still, because everyone that did last game, I mean, they got insta 200 quick taken out of the competition. You have to stay aware, active, and alive if you want to make it past zone to zone.
Players that may not making it to zone is Amplify. Amplify going down, was picking up a couple eliminations in the previous match. And you're right, Shio. As soon as you see a south zone, everyone just starts to move. The bullets start flying. People just, you've seen the vehicle rotations. They understand how treacherous those mountain zones can be. You've seen Sapphic here with the hot fish. We saw Bino in the previous round use that hot fish. We've been seeing it lately, especially in the FNCS trios. We saw Kirachi be able to utilize that hot fish just to take that high ground. But as a solo, holding onto the high ground is very difficult.
Very, very difficult. The high ground will come in just a sec. This rotation right now, it looks like such a short distance. If you're watching at home, you're probably asking, why don't you just run the whole way? This is why. You know when you run on sand, that's basically what this is. That small distance actually ends up being so far because of the pressure everyone has left and right. Ways taking a few shots on the Sapphic. You don't want to use your shields immediately. You don't want to do crazy things and run out through all your utility before the end game starts. This small distance doubles or even triples in size because of the pressure, and everyone's going to have a hard time moving through.
And now you're seeing Noah Riley's rotation. His plan always visits the aftermath, maybe just looking to see anyone else that's in shambles. We did see Bellix there rotating through. That's coming all the way from Reaper House. And so far, he's been surviving the early game. Everyone thought that, you know, the players and Bellix coming in from the All-Star play-in would be able to be just easy eliminations, but so far they're proving that their solo prowess is there. As we've seen, Vortex now has his eyes on Asterios. So Asterios, you better watch out. Indred and Thomas HD sharing neighborship. We have a deal down in the gas and grub, down below in that gas station. And this is where it matters here. Everyone's trying to get those valuable Storm Surge tags, trying to get those position here. Shizo and Thomas HD tied for the most elims in game 1. And we all know there is a bonus factor with the most eliminations in the solos finals match. So $1,000 and $1,020 will be given out to the most elims here. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward.
I'm liking this change up in pressure for solos, though. Usually by this game, we see some people going a little bit stir crazy. That 90 out of 100 on the top left turns into 80, turns into 70 sometimes by the second or third game. But everyone here is really trying to stay in, Sancho. Right now, that first place prize, $150,000 for EU in first place before. I believe it was like 300K. That was split 3 ways, though. This is the biggest personal prize available right now. And there's only been 1 game so far, so everyone definitely still has a chance to get towards top 10 inside that leaderboard. This is the biggest competition we have this year for Fortnite. And everyone is trying their best, all 100 players, at getting that spot, that prize. Kaiser against Mr. J. He's going to be taking a lot of damage here inside Lazy Lake. Complete activity, though, all around. This is about physical education. And Mr. J, he's making the move to disengage. He got his shots down. He has that surge damage. Look over to that right side, and now actually causing a bit of chaos behind him. He leaves a car crash back there and says, I didn't do nothing, and moves straight through.
Mr. J with that 3rd place finish and with about 4 elims. So a great start to his day here as Kaiser now has the remnants of that car crash dealing with it here. Boltia with armed with just so little, 1 above Shio, and now he has the pressure coming in the front side. He's gonna have to hold on here, gotta dip into those hard matches just to show Kaiser there that he's gonna be willing to be a little bit more stubborn. Now he's 3 below, 5 below, so dangerous.
Mr. J basically brake checked 3 players on a highway, and now these guys, their gearbox, it's absolutely ruined. Kaiser going for a desperate fight, overexposing himself as well. I'm surprised this man didn't get sniped. He drops down. Oh my god, okay. Big panic here inside box to box. Both players on 25 HP. Metal all around them, though, so pickaxing these walls over time, it'll get more difficult. They'll be so strengthened. Kaiser will take that chance, though, with that added padding and pick that med kit up. Now the zone comes in, though, and all these guys are in trouble.
You're watching a lot of the bottom of the board here. All these players have 1 point here, and they're trying to get a little bit more here. Kaiser and Boltia with 1 point is basically sitting all 65 placing down almost, it feels like here. And oh my goodness, what'd you see, Shio?
I saw that launch pad just get shot every time Voltix. He had a good spot right there, too, to hunt down Kaiser. Each time he was about to get out, it's like he has a bungee cord attached to this position. He could not move. These players making his rotation as hard as possible. They know Kaiser's here, too.
Oh, you needed that.
Oh, no. He needed that so bad.
Needed that so badly to open up the path here for this rotation, and it's going to give away position, but he's able just to sneak on through to this catacomb that's happening. But now, with that Sorting coming in, it was just a matter of time before Joe closed that out. Now Flowis is down below, sending up beams to the top here, looking to find that a perfect third-party opportunity. You got Panics here, Elo Kraz in this congested rotation. As you're seeing the rest of the lobby now looking in to see if they could take away any valuable 2 Elim points right now. And Joe's going to have plenty of meds to kind of get back up to full strength. But my concern here is just going to be the other people that's sitting next door to him.
Yeah, he was kind of gifted by Kaiser there, the Surge, but that gift came in the shape of a double-edged sword. Basically, did so much damage to him. He survives with like just 1 HP kind of, and just rides out all his utilities gone. Meanwhile, as these guys are struggling to get morsels of damage and Elims, Fast Roki is really picking up the pace on the other side of the map. 2 Elims right there. If we get those watched back as well, that'd be crazy. The Siptos, Hadi, and Anas, they'll move out in very, very separate lanes. These guys aren't even on the same pathway right now, the way they're moving into the zone. Hadi actually staying back a little bit, and Flick actually takes to the skies.
Taken to the skies, but an update for y'all. Shizo, the Game 1 winner, is out, and the current leader gone. So that is what's happening right now. The people are now waking up. You're seeing the skill kind of show. And Seahorse takes out Mr. Savage.
Wow. Stompy taking out Kiriachi and then turning around and taking down Hen inside the feed as well. Milo didn't make it past the zone. Hen actually just, I guess, clapping down Stompy. What I'm thinking about right there, it has to be that these guys were all in zone somewhere fighting it out, and that zone eventually claims everyone if you don't actually work with time. We went from 90 players just moments ago down to 68 after that rotation and surge. These guys were truly put through this huge filter and did not sift out.
I can't even believe, like, look at the kind of loadout that Flick is working with here. Just down to 38 bullets, 8 shells in the shotgun here. You know he's going to be looking for a refresher. You know he's going to try to get the zone and catch somebody. He's going to need a body right now because this is not going to last for endgame. There it is. He caught somebody. He got him.
Ask and you shall receive, Sancho. Thank you for blessing Flick. That might have been the freest Elim I've ever seen in the most random in my entire life, but okay, whatever, man. Going down to Anas, unfortunate. Flecking from the backside as well. He'll try to find his way through, but Anas has a huge stop sign all the way on the front side of this zone. See Flecken actually moving to the right. Very good adjustment there, but he might get lobby focus in just a sec. Good 4x4 or 2x2 box there to make sure he has a lot of room to move, and now Anas has to be quiet, but man, Flick, that's just tragic.
Yeah, at the same time at the hands of your old teammate, right? From the trios days. Oh, come on, man. Why do you have to take me out? And Nas and Queasy are tied for the most total solo final VRs with 2 apiece. So now we're going to see if Nas can add to that stat. As he's moving on through, you see Noah Riley, I believe, still in the feed, still cooking, still working. Indretta still alive. Hi, Chris. Thomas HD and Indretta, who've known to cross a lot of paths in their FNCS days, considering that they almost come from the same side of the map. Dirty Docs going against Steamy Stacks here. And Dreda armed with the Chug Cannon. Feeling good. I would feel good right now. I got a Chug Cannon. I got a launch pad. I got mats for days. And I like what this new kind of technique, this meta is, of people building out of woods early on their rotations or protection. I know this is not an in-game yet, but looking forward, you're expecting a lot of our players go through Star Tarps with wood builds. And O'Reilly has to be careful. It's Peach from the play-in, sending in beams on your backside.
It seems like all these newer contenders just rolling around in the weirdest spots, finding crazy angles on top players. Maybe that's why they're getting tripped up. And Dreda, though, definitely a player to keep your eye on. Peach, bye-bye. What was that? Was that a shotgun or a sniper? I don't know. It hit as hard as either from max or close range. I guess he's gone, and now Heighten is open to whoever. Okay.
Okay. Mr. J, the third place player going down in the feed, so first and third are gone. Fast Roki, I believe, is no, he's gone as well. So our top 3 is gone. That's how quick it can happen, folks. Now we go here to the fan favorites. Benji Fishy rocking the Lachlan outfit here, looking really good. Went down super early in match 1.
Sancho, I'm running out of pages on the script here, right? Like, I got the fill in the blank. I'm like, let me write SETI up. Like, I got some 6 stories for Fast Roki. Okay, he's gone. Noah Riley, still alive. Deal.
And gone.
Okay, actually takes him out. No way! Seti's here though, and Dreda actually picking apart Decepto, so lots of things happening on the edge side, somewhere towards the middle of zone. We saw Dreda with that quick, fast first rotation. And also, you're talking about VR, Sancho. He has another max zone to conquer, has to use at least one of these launch pads here, but this man cannot catch a break.
This is where you see the real test of skill when it comes to rotation as a solo. Yes, you could use a launch pad, but you could use a community pad, is what the people in the Fortnite world like to call it. You could recycle a pad. iDrop picks an elimination here, but you have to be careful here because some people like to bait a community pad and wait and just pop out of a cone and eliminate you while you're invulnerable in a glider state here. And as well, gliding through the air, and it's not as free anymore. A lot of our Fortnite pros have the beams to send you out of the competition, and Shaco's takes out the deal in match 2. So yeah, man, you know, when they came to us and like, hey, Shai, you got any predictions? And we're like, yeah, we got predictions, but I mean, come on, it's solos, it's chaotic, it's madness.
No one can predict this. A majority of the lobby has to move through. You can see the speed of the arrows on the map. You can actually see it from this perspective. Everyone's found launch pads to come through. Everyone had a good position now. You're looking at Benji, Snap, Slender. Look at people landing on top of them, actually extending high all the bases that they have so far. These one-by-one condominiums, the bungalows turn into high-rise apartments fast. Thomas HD finds a spot above 2 other people and becomes the landlord here. 155 metal, though. I mean, he has struggled to get to this spot. He's used everything now, and he's gonna have to force himself into a box once again, risk his life to see this endgame.
Vino picks up Chapix in the feed, and we've seen Thomas AT be in this position before where he just clutches, and now he's going to be out for the hunt to find someone going his way. If it is an edit down below or a cone, that is what's going to take for him to survive. And Dreda has used the bush strat. He's chilling in a bush, vibing out. And Don, Reese's favorite right now, looking solid with the chug cannon and the peppers and some launch pads. I'm just concerned for the grape tack. It's just not going to be enough in those 50-50s.
I'm seeing Benji fishing inside an endgame though, and I'm seeing a few mountains on the left and right. Some woods as well coming up soon. This is where this man ends up popping off so hard. So we'll see exactly how he can roll in. One of the best loadouts we're looking at as well. He's got the launches and he's ready to go.
Benji coming into this match, 94th place with 0 points. So you're seeing that he was able to get his first points of the tournament here with 5.
Finds a community pad. This is huge for him to use. And wow, everyone takes to the sky. Ardent, Janice, Irazumi, Benji up top, Floki and Wakey actually touch down first. He's going to be right above them as he starts his game. This landing has to be perfect, and he finds his box. Good for him so far, but he's turning on the gas, going in for the big shot on the right side. On the top right of your screen, you can see Benji's POV as how he moves. Thomas HD is desperate, though, and finds another elim right below him. That's huge. Doesn't get the match, though. He has 2 left, and he's facing a ton of bullets. Gets focused out on the front side, though. Teak, Benji, lots of people looking for position and just waiting to take control of this game.
The Frenchman Nate takes out Thomas HD. Now we're on to the English Lord here of Benji with 1 elimination here and 7 points. He has height, yes, and he has peppers here. He's gonna have to get a refresh here because he's not gonna be able to hold height for so long. And Anas is right underneath, and this is where it's gonna get dangerous for Benji. And here it is, all eyes on Benji, and a power position to close out. Floki down below, looking with the green tack, hunting for an elimination with no build, Shio. This is where it gets treacherous. This is where you need to be able to clutch. Hits the short pad for a moment.
And right now, Floki, he's homeless and hungry. No mats right now, but he's still trying to eat. Boom, boom, 3's not gonna be there. Bubak takes them out. Benji, though, he has every single angle possible right now from top down. Done at least 100,000 damage from up here, but no, he gets taken out. He was shot on the Bubak, though, to keep it all the way in. Gets a few mats to stay alive and stay in. It's Tayson who steals this position.
If anyone could clutch from this position, it is Benji Fishy. We've seen it in many times in different stages, but never have we seen it in a set lobby in the finals. And he's going for another one. Can Benji on the bottom right of your screen get this elimination? He's chasing. He takes up all damage. That's how much he wants it. Tayson picks up Miro in the feed. Stormy takes up Slender. Vino picks up another elimination. What a big game for Vino. And Knifer takes out Benji.
We run into a river, but this is no picnic. Stormy right, all the way down below is about to get shot out. Tayson is looking at such a strong position. Teak lost in the storm. AR beams from above. This rain hurts hard, and there's no umbrella to save you now, my friend. You're running out of materials. You're gonna be on your walls and your floors, ending it out towards the storm. Chug cannon, the advantage is even, and now Tayson from the top side. He's looking for the final shot. A tree in the way, but there's gonna be no growth for Teak here. low on HP, low on shields. Tayson's here to wrap it out, going back in the storm. It's a desperate solution. Tayson fails the block, but lands the shot. That's what I'm talking about for game 2. High-profile players, big stakes, huge action.
And now we're seeing how Teak got to that second place finish. It is Tayson, the FNCS solo champion, getting Game 2's victory royale with ease. But wow, this is what Tayson needed, considering he didn't have a great game 1. But this is what could happen in a solo event. All it takes is a couple of pop-ups, and you better vault your way up the board. Some great work from the former champion.
And that's what I was looking for in terms of a high-tier seesaw, right, Sancho? We're looking for big names taking height left and right. We're looking for those crazy box fights. Thomas HB desperate here and there. Flick too, I mean, this man somehow survived longer than he needed to. Got that free elim. I mean, you gifted it to him, right? And then after that, you know, got instantly taken out. That was also one of those games, right, where we saw brothers take out brothers. Fleck and Diablo in the beginning. Stomby, Kuriachi also taking shots at each other. It feels like, Sancho, if you blinked, if you left one side of your box unattained to, you got shot for like 100 damage.
Yeah, someone is gonna get you there, but we definitely have to take it to the analyst desk of Zeke, Reese, and Levin to break down match 2.
Tayson, Levin, Tayson, baby. You know, you can never count this man out. He's always lurking in the shadows, okay? He's always there.
Look, you know, I have my script for how today is going to play out. So after game 1, I was sort of looking at my script thinking, hold on a minute, what's going on here? Like, you know, things are going off the rails a bit. But now we're back on script. We have Tayson winning the game. And, you know, before we get on to Tayson, because there's plenty to say about Tayson, props to Teak. Look, Teak is a phenomenal solo player. Teak has dominated solo competitions in the past. You know, I renamed DreamHack to Teak Hack because of how dominant he is in those competitions. So we know what Teak can do. I think the big thing is, can he now move this, you know, continue this form forward? But Tayson, picking up a game. Look, I said he'd be able to do this. He's going to get you a game or 2 here and there. But even with that, still not at the top of the standings. Shizo being moved down from first place, being overtaken by Vino. Props to Vino. Vino in first place. Look, Vino's somebody who a lot of you OG people might not be familiar with, or a lot of you newer people, I should say, aren't familiar with. But Vino is a phenomenal talent. One of the most talented players. He just needs the respect, and I think he's finally starting to get it, Reese.
Yeah, I think anyone who's been watching last season knows how good of a player Vino is generally. You know, if you've been watching in trios and any of the solo cash cups in particular, you've been noticing his name popping up frequently in the leaderboards. And I'm not surprised to see him first, kind of after those 2 games at all, to be honest with you, because he was one of the players that I'm thinking top 10, top 5, but to see him first already after 2 matches, he could be taken away with it.
Yeah, this is really Vino's time to shine, really. Obviously, he wasn't able to play in the FNCS finals, missed out there, but now getting a chance to maybe, you know, make up for some of the earnings he missed. Once again, you can see Thomas doing what Thomas does best, picking up some fancy highlights. I think, you know, he did get himself into a bit of trouble there with Mats, and that does often happen, right? You do see a lot of these players who maybe don't have, you know, the best rotation or the best loot paths and, you know, material paths available to them, not able to survive for long periods of time. You know, you get into these sticky situations where you run low on mats and it's all over. You can see Benji there in a similar position, even after his pop-off, right? Still running low on mats and then eventually being taken out. You know, these are the things that players are going to be thinking about, right? Tayson, somebody who talked about, you know, having much more resources available to him than many other players, and that seemed to have helped out today in this specific game. How does that move forward in the next sort of games is the big thing.
I mean, I think for Tayson in that particular situation, it's like you get that end game refresh where you need it. You've managed to get yourself tons of materials. Benji at that moment was running low, so he dropped down, and that was a perfect moment for Tayson just to take height. And with those extra materials, you know, you saw Teak scrambling for it on the low ground, right? He was looking for it. He was trying to do whatever he could on the low ground, but Tayson was chilling out. He was relaxed. He had the mats. He knew he had the HP advantage too with the chug cannon, so he played it slow, cool, calm, and collected. And I went back earlier today and watched his 12 elimination victory royale from the solo FNCS, the big game that kind of pushed him to be first and to win that. And his reaction, you know what it was? Nothing. Didn't even say a word. You could hear his keys typing away. You could just hear him not even an excitement on one of the most incredible games I've seen in FNCS history, to be honest with you. Nothing. So I'm trying to wonder, after that victory royale, what was his reaction?
Well, look, the big thing for me, right, in sort of the final moments of that game is just going to be sort of looking at, you know, height, right? He obviously wins that game from above, and just before that, we saw Benji actually take height for a moment. You know, these final stages, who's the last person to take height? You know, you don't want to take it too early. You know, first move, if you take it, pretty useless at that stage, right? You want to try to take it as late as possible. And some of these height takes aren't even that complicated. Like when Benji took it, he just looked up, realized, no one's above me, let me just have it, right? And similar thing with Tayson. So how does that sort of play out? We'll see. Still a couple games left.
Bro, and I don't know how it's happening, but Janice is always in that high ground position right there toward the end, and then he just drops it. So, and again, this is just the first 2 games, you know, anything could still happen. But with all that being said, we're going back into the action. Shy Wager, Sancho S, back over to you, boys.
Action's too hot. There's just too much action right now, and it's all with these players who are the rising up and comers, those legends, the veterans. They're having trouble right now in the first 2 games, Sancho.
It's just showing you the talent of all of the players in the EU region. It keeps getting deeper and deeper with every passing FNCS season, and stars that are really great. We're seeing the flashes of brilliance, just like with Benji able just to have a pop off. We're seeing, you know, Thomas HD having those flashes of brilliance. But it's the new stars that are shining a little bit brighter here today. Stars like Vino, which is, like I mentioned during match 1, a dark horse who has the ability to rack up elims, and you're looking at it, a 5th and 4th place in this 1st and 2nd match. I'm expecting some big things from Vino going forward.
Yeah, Vino and Shiz are just kind of head-to-head right now. Shiz also going down a little bit earlier in that last game, so hopefully looking for that consistency at the top of the board, Sancho. It's not only about getting that 1 game pop-off, but then playing well for the rest of the tournament.
If you're looking at all the past match histories of the solos of people winning, you see a lot of just like low, like early eliminations, getting out early, but then you see those pop-off games, and that is what we're looking for. Who's going to have the next pop-off game? Who is going to be able to shine bright on the biggest stage here on Fortnite in the main channel everywhere? Thank you so much for joining us, and yo, Party Royale. Throw a tomato at you know, at Shy's face next time.
Yeah, my face is very tomatoable, but what's not a joke right now is the off-spawn fights we're watching in these games. Game number 3, the best one to watch for you and me, except for that final one that comes in on the day. This is where we see most of the changes. This is where we see desperate people actually making their move, their chance. Snazy all the way in caddy corner. He's already starting off with a fight. Actually, the first shot that's been ringed through the entire Fortnite Battle Royale island. Looks like Zyku has a few shields to pop. He's gonna break that floor. No match for him to hold. Genius here from Snazy. He's almost out of ammunition though. He has to make sure these final shots, they hit their target.
He has to close this out quickly because who knows what Zeko has in his inventory. He's going to go on in. Ooh, that's not a sound you want to hear if you're Snazy. That is the sound of an SMG, and that's going to send him packing and out of this engagement here. But match 3, it's about the halfway point. You're right, Shayo. People make those changes. You see Vino picking up Asterios quickly in the feed. So Vino not changing the formula, sticking to it, and actually he's adding a little bit more gas to it.
Yeah, Vino currently our leader right now in the All-Stars solos. 53 points in total after that elimination. Snazy could have a chance to clap back right there, but unfortunately is not able to finish out that elim and get caddy for free. That'll affect his loot heavily. Benji, meanwhile, headed forward near the ditch. He's looking to see exactly what he can take out over here. You can see the leaderboard on the left side. It's still a very, very close game. A few eliminations, a difference in placement. Everyone's really neck and neck on show. This next game, we could have completely different names on the top of the board.
Absolutely, and as you've seen, the leaderboard will get shaken up as Safik takes up Reason out in the feed down at the aftermath here. But this is the battle that a lot of people on social media had their eyes on. Benji versus Pink. Can Benji Fishy able to take out Pink, and Pink using the fish sticks? A little bit of mind games that's happening between the two. So far, Benji, I think it's 1-1 because last time Benji went down early here. And what we see, if Benji could survive in the end game, he has the potential to take it all.
Endurance is one of the biggest things inside this competition as well. You're absolutely right. It's not only surviving end games, but multiple. A lot of these youngins, they come in and they win the first few games. They kind of teeter off because that pressure, the sweat, it builds up over and over. Benji, he's used to the long form games. He's used to these drawn out 12-game tournaments, but this is just a 6er for now. Just 6 matches we're watching on the day.
Oh my goodness, Pink coming in. The shot just missed for Benji. But I've been in these kind of fights here down at the Defiant Dish, and it could take a long time. But it looks like Pink is about to end that quickly here. And now he has Benji's on the ropes with a big tag, with that green tack here. And now Benji's trying to find humility. There's just so many ways you could kind of crouch and walk away, and the fight gets run out. Rick Sanchez enjoying the engagement here, helping out Pink. We got an action. It's Rick Sanchez there. We're helping him out, dropping those bandies right there as Mappy picks up Janice. Wow, Mappy has had 2 games where he's taken out big names in this All-Star Showdown solo.
I don't know what Mappy's doing, but we gotta watch some perspective of that as to how that fight's breaking down. It might be because he has insane loadouts and a powerful type of difference in the weapons he has in his inventory, because right now you can see it with Pink versus Benji. This tack, when you have it early, you can commit to fights with just 1 item completely and look so good. For Benji, this great pump, he's gonna have to hit an even more than perfect shot, and it's still not gonna do a lot of damage. And then follow up with an AR, I mean, that is not the ideal situation. If you're Pink in the situation, all you have to do is just roll in, shoot shots, and commit over and over. Just keep pressing left click. Benji has to be pixel perfect with his accuracy.
This is a battle between 75th place and 19th place. Benji left Pink in the dust on the leaderboard with that 1 pop-off game. It's a mini pop-off for Benji, let's be real. It's a little mini pop-off. We're used to seeing him pump everybody. But now he's there at 19th place. So this is how dangerous it is for a Benji here. Cannot afford to go down because that movement up the board could happen just as way the opposite side of things. But now Pink out of builds, but still has a lot of environment to kind of pick on. And Benji now, and that's Chapix out of nowhere. Where did Chapix come from? I didn't even see him. Chapix now is going to be the new competitor that Benji has to face, and now Benji knows who's in front of him.
Phone a friend option on a very hard question for Benji to solve, but at the same time, this is not a friend. This is another enemy. He not only saw that, you know, this fight was kind of drawing out so long, but there was so many mats used, people farming over and over again. He's looking to hunt down both these players.
Benji coming from that bridge south of Boney Burbs, a little bit near the aftermath, understanding that that's part of his rotational plan to get the third party in, and he picks it perfectly as Siberia J goes from the chop, and Peach just hits that launch pad to get away, but he may fall into the embrace of Kenzel, which this is Kenzel's backyard in Coral Castle.
Saw how lethal Peach is though, right, Sancho? Last game, if you give this guy just a window of opportunity, an inch to operate with an AR, he ends up doing 120 damage in like a matter of 2 seconds. This guy's aim is just immaculate. Knifer though, going down, one of the last survivors from game number 2. I think he became and was close to the top 5. Once again, we get hard stuck on 90 players alive. It's gonna be a very tricky zone to navigate, no matter if you're the king of Coral, no matter if you're the biggest believer on the beach. You're gonna have to overcome obstacles, go for those early fights, and just operate with like 9 different people around you, waiting for you to make a mistake or leave an opening in your box.
Peach was coming from the All-Star Showdown play-in, coming in 6th place. Last time I made a solos appearance in Season 3, came in 62nd place. Now, this is a surprise here. 4ZR has hit this big stop sign. You know what that stop sign is called? It's Noah Riley, all right? He's been hitting this stop sign constantly, and someone that who had the momentum, and I thought this was someone who you have to keep an eye out for. Very elite player from the French country, and it's just, this is what happens, man. Sometimes there's always one player out of the 4 that are dropping here who is gonna be like, yeah, it just wasn't your day today.
I mean, these guys are essentially, you know, it's 4 people trying to share a 1-bed hotel room. It just doesn't work. Someone's gonna end up on the couch or on the floor. It's never Noah Riley though. For some reason, this man is just clapping over and over again. This time it's Nate that goes down.
Man, I'm always a guy on that floor, man. I'm like, all right, man, I'll take it. I'll take the floor, man. I'll take the floor. Noah Riley right now chilling in that king-size bed. He got it all right now. He's sitting comfy, but it's not the question of Noah Riley's a fighter. It's about what is the cost of this engagements here, his rotations. Let's take a look at the replay there as he's catching Nate on the disengagement.
Oh my God.
CR and
Dude, I thought Harpoons revolted right there. This guy insta-fished the flopper. Like, that was insane. Boxed him up, made him look like he's never touched a keyboard before. I mean, Noah Riley's fast.
boxed it and shipped it for 2 elim points. What a cash in right there, as we're seeing Tayson, our game 2 winner with 38 points. And that's going to be enough to going into this match, put him into 3rd place. Another one of those big names that went down early here. Now Trulix and Stompy here in an engagement, box to box, 1 grid separating them. Stompy using the power of his pickaxe to hack his way through. Trulix, the defending FNCS Trio champion, responds. Stompy gonna go for a layer switch to get up a little bit higher here. No other eyes in this engagement here, and Trulix is still being a little bit of a nuisance. Brings him down a couple layers back to his layer. And this is what this is the kind of thing that you gotta be careful here. You can't let it draw out too much.
Now this is silly. Look at the zone. What a man's doing.
I know, you gotta go.
Rotate up.
It's time to go. It's time to
Take
go.
shots at each other as you guys are moving towards that safe zone right now. This fight, I mean, I guess Trulix might have a few medkits here or there. That's true.
You know what I mean? It's
That's true.
Hey man, at gentleman's agreement, I'm gonna disengage. We can keep shooting each other, but we all know
it's not even that. It's that you can still get aggressive and then not grief your entire game though, right? Like right now, it's gonna be very tricky for Stompy. Maybe Trulix actually has those white heels and he's feeling confident. It's not even about the disengagement entirely. It's about choosing where you want to have your fights.
The good grief vibes for Vorciar continue as he gets taken out by Red Rush, still with 0 points in this competition.
Oh no, now Stompy. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Hey. Jules is gone. He's like, yeah, I was watching, I was waiting. I guess you guys are gonna do some weird stuff here in the zone. Y'all can do what you want, and now Trulix and Stompy, they're just calling it a complete impasse. I mean, Stompy has so many mats too. I'm not sure why he's allowing this. He can easily disengage and keep making boxes, base up, and then shoot. He can do exactly what he's doing now and not take zone damage, but it's personal, it looks like, for these guys.
Yes.
Stompy on a timer, on a clock. He's gonna have to go straight over to Trulix. Trulix kind of baiting him. He might be the one to actually force this fight, move to zone early, maybe take that car at the bottom, and trick Stompy into the storm. I'm sure that's trying to think about what the entire plan is here. Maybe force out a launch pad. That could be it. Stompy, though, no white heel, Sancho. He's not to find a campfire maybe in Weeping. There's a lot to use, but he's going straight to Jules.
Now Stompy is on the disengage. Trulix, seeing the pad being used, decides to chase after here. Jules may have a free elim if he wants it. He understands that there's definitely 2 people behind him. Didn't see anyone in the elim feed. And like I mentioned, Jules is a rising star in the EU region, taking on some of the titans of the EU, like Analyst. Took out a couple of names here today. Vidil, 12 points. It's one of those things that, you know, Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason are having those kind of days where they're popping off. This is 41st place right now coming into this game. They're having those, you know, they're getting those fights, they're getting those early engagements, but right now, what I want to see is I want to see the Vidil, Reason, Noah Riley that, you know, slowed down in day 2 of the FNCS, where they played for placement, where they got in those positions early. But maybe as a solo, you don't have that, you know, the communication between the 3 to keep you level, to keep you easy.
No, definitely. And even for Benji, when it comes to comms, when it just comes to playing his game right now, yeah, maybe got a freebie off spawn and got to survive over at the dish, but he's been here for a while now, Sancho. Now he has to move out, but once again, he almost got so low from I don't even know what happened all the way at the back there. You're finally leaving, and he's kind of looking in shambles overall for loadout.
Yeah, just above Storm Surge, and I gotta say, these new vehicles right here are by far my favorite, so they're gonna give him, he's still gonna be able to move really fast over the grass here. He doesn't have to rely on the roads to take him into safety, but so far, that his entire ride, the rest of today's match is gonna be really rough, but if he could find that refresher that we know that he can do, he's gonna look solid here. Thomas HD was able to get some nice refreshers while we were watching his POV, armed with the sniper. I mean, this man was carrying a gold legendary sniper in in-game, so it's just showing you how confident he is with it. One of the best snipers in the world. Let's see if he's able to give us one. That's all we want today. You know, just give us one. Just one nice sniper, man.
Just one.
Just one.
60 below for Voltix. I mean, he's going to be the one to cause chaos around. It might be Kaiser who's the target of that energy. Lots of people around, though, for options. Everyone's kind of stuck on the south side of this bridge. Moving across, it takes so much utility. It takes so much time. You won't be able to afford that, really, when, you know, you have a choice, yes or no. Now, if the zone moves past that bridge, everyone will be forced to. They'll have to expend, but for now, lots of bases here and not many right above it.
Vino, our leader right now on the board here. Savage picks up DKS. Vino came in 5th and 4th place. 6 elims total respectively. Now has another possible victim in his way here. This is gonna, actually this is Shadow and Red Rush. Mappy takes out Seahorse. Shadow here, this must be an engagement that's going along because Shadow actually popped a mini here. It's a 200 HP versus 150. This is still an action here happening in Believer Beach. This is Storm Surge affecting this fight here.
It's gonna be active here in just a moment. Shadow, 5 below, really needs to land a shot. He's already missed the first. Teak going down. Queasy eliminated. Mr. J, the traffic jam causer's gone too. 149 damage. Oh my goodness, and that's way more than enough to shoot Shadow all the way up the rankings for Surge. Did it cost him too much? I don't see a fishing rod, so can't even get any fish outside Believer Beach right now to kind of level up that white HP. He'll pop the hot flopper to make sure he has a little bit of HP to move and some speed. Has to find some medkit or bandages somewhere. They're always left around, not the priority target for people to pick up off of spawn. Meanwhile, other side, Shizo, game 1 winner, 45 points, 2nd place right now, Sancho. He's also just moving for free, it looks like.
Yeah, he's moving for free now, but in the previous match, he got taken down around this time. As we saw in the feed, Hen and Anas going down, the Guild Boys going down early in this game. Shizo, I think he's just trying to cause a big explosion, and happily he could catch Raxo here. There he is. He goes for the flank around. I love the creativity here in this engagement for Shizo. And yes, gets a tag right there. Shizo is going to have an opportunity to get some eliminations here, but the fire is so strong, you got to be careful. Those are being nasty. 15 HP. It's going to have to cool down with the chug cannon, and Raxo gets taken out, but I'm not quite sure Shizo is credited that elimination, as here comes Tayson, the game 2 winner and the solo former champion, going to look for scraps here and maybe pick up a third-party elimination.
I think the goal here for Shizo was to look for some type of pressure to get Raxo all the way off of his big tower, because a lot of those guys sometimes might be down on Surge. He did get credited for the elim. Unfortunately, wasted a mini as well, because the Siphon cave in, put him above 150 HP, and he popped 1, and he was trying to right before. Tayson, though, has 12 in total as he moves through. Lots of launch pads, gets a lot off of Raxo's body. He was just right there. Looks like he finds all the goodies from that elim. Vortex, though, going down to Refsguard right now, and this man might have the most eliminations, right, of all time in terms of solo finals. This is a very different finals, though, right? There was no open, big qualifying overtime system rolling in. This is FNCS All-Stars, the best of the best from trios coming through. It's very different vibes. Some of these guys might not even be the best solo players, right? So they attack the game in a very different way. It switches up the way that Tayson has to basically go for every single situation.
Kaiser picking up Benji Fishing Feed. At the same time, there is no mythical Shockwave grenade launcher as well. That's the season that he was able to find success as a champion. So that is what we're all deal with. And at the same time, there's so much pressure on Tayson to be like a 3-time champion as well. I remember everyone was like, can he go back-to-back and all this kind of crazy stuff. So all that is off the board. So that's what's so exciting here. Last time Tayson was a champion was in season 4 alongside with Mongo and Mitro. Deceptos there coming from the Flopper Island. So far, this is one of those players that it does well in solos, and it just hasn't happened here today from him. I thought this guy coming all the way from the north side with all those fishing spots available to him would have some ability to have at least some floppers, but it looks like there's no fishing there. They all went dry. There's no spots, but he does find himself with a very powerful purple pump shotgun.
Yeah, low tide it looks like, and he's actually going to be out of options in this endgame. Purple shotguns are huge, right, Sancho? Even purple tax or whatever you want to be rolling in with. You need AR, though. It's just some ammo. Not even like a blue, green, or purple gold one. If you just have a gray AR and lots of ammo as well, it can help you out rolling in with the game. The biggest issue, though, right, whether they're in the loot pool or not, if you don't have that ammo, you're going to be at a loss for everything, every type of pressure in the game.
All our competitors are making a move, and my point is Deceptos came in 2nd place in that same season that Tayson was the champion, so that's what I'm saying. Like, he is supposed to do well. Like, he's one of those ones on paper that would have a top 15 finish, but so far on the bottom of the board here, Wakey with 16 points total. Wakey looking solid, having 1 elimination. Wakey coming in 39th place into this match here. Kiku picking up Mosh in the feed. And then we're taking a look here. Wakey only has a short rotation to make his way in, has Mayhem in front of him. Let's see who has the advantage here. Gray has a nice perch on top of a mountain here. So many people in this where Savage is in, and that's what I'm concerned about for Savage here. He has so much people surrounding him on this rotation. Yeah, he has a clean drop, but it gets awfully dirty making his way through the safe zones.
And I'm trying to figure out exactly where Vino is, how some of these top 5 people are looking. Fast Stroke, you've been rolling into this game. How is he looking currently right now? Thomas HD, if he's still alive where he could be inside these zones. Yes, Janice is down, but what is Tason's position? And there is Thomas HD for the moment. Man rolling in 7th place, 35 points. He needs to make up a lot right now and has the damage too. Pizza goes down. Toos not going to be here either. It seems that Booback is taking out at least one high-profile, fast momentum player.
I would say Thomas HD is in a lot better position than he was in previous matches. He has the mats, he has the launch pad, he has the firepower. So Thomas HD, I'm expecting a better finish here. Of course, representing Denmark as the most players of ever right now, rocking through, looking really solid.
It's not about the takeoff though, Sancho. The launch pad is great. The ammo is used to. It's about that landing. What you do when you actually lead, lead and land in the zone. Max rotation for Thomas HD on this one. The half and half and desperate eyes looking in the nighttime right now all around. The entire map just goes dark as Storm Surge starts. So, Thomas and a bunch of people who are above will have to move, but people like Shizo, 2nd place, they're desperate. Baiting this launch pad, it's genius, but it's seen. This is All-Stars, baby. That low trick won't work. All good, though. He moves 33 and caught on a tree, too. No, now down just a sliver of HP. Needs to land a shot here, or he's going to go down. So close. 10 above, though. A miracle from Shizo.
Just survives that Storm Surge just a bit. Luckily he has the Chug Cannon, but that Chug Cannon is on a cooldown. Thomas HD now taking flight, flying over Shizo here. No tags on Thomas HD as they make their move. But Vino, oh no, Vino gets attacked from Shizo. You're wondering where Vino is. There he is, and Shizo, satisfied with that tag, is gonna move on through and make his way into the safe zone. Tayson picking up Hottie in the feed. Savage right in front of Shizo. Savage could go ahead and pick up this elimination. Deceptos did get an elim on this rotation. He's just right above Shizo here as the lead is piling up right now, Shio.
2nd place is struggling right now and passing by the 1st, and boom, another pump coming down, but they're only hitting for 27s. Shizo low mats, I get it, but how is he allowed to do this? No one else is looking at him. We're punishing him for being in the open. He's going straight for Vino. He's trying to take the throne, but he's not going to be able to penetrate there just right yet through the wall. Shizo will have to move over to the left side. Oh my god, the mats are shambles, but somehow has found a way to survive all the way towards the back inside this zone. No one is here. It's a barren wasteland. Has to use his final mats to try to get in. And it's a small top corner of the box that keeps 2nd place inside the running.
He pushed Vino to use his mats to get up away from him. Now he's down to 1, desperately hitting, and Shizo finally gets found out by Noah Riley. And Noah Riley not only rewarded with those 2 elim points, but also rewarded with that Chug Cannon. So that's going to be a great win condition for him going forward. Vino with 1 elim. He's known to do well. Picks up some big ones on Wazy. Wazy now has to bottle up and get away from that pressure. Chapix, who we saw earlier, poke at Benji Fishy. Now we're on board with Analyst, the Frenchman, with only 9 points. Deceptos gets swag. Thomas HD, is that the snipe that we were looking for on Chapix? I believe so. And Analyst is going to use the spoils and pick up the loot. I believe it was. We're going to take a look. Hope we got a replay of that.
Absolutely crazy because Chapix, this man is that half and half high ground king. Thomas HD taking him out, it looks like, from a mile away. Endelex now controls that high ground. This man that's been suppressed the entire, I would say, back-to-back FNCSs. So close towards that top 3. No teammates to worry about right now, though. No off-spawn contestants. It's about him controlling the end game. There's a reason his name's popping up on every single region right now. It's because of how good he is at maintaining control. The thing is, though, Vidil, he's looking for the retake. He's going on the left side. That zone, it's all the way towards the back. He chooses actually to drop down and not go up. This does thwart Indelex's plans, though. He's worried, and he's focusing on Vidil. Meanwhile, Thomas HD, this man's in mid-ground, Sancho, and he's looking pretty good.
coming into the fight in 7th place. You saw Vino as well in the POV, our first place leader, still looking solid in this fight. Sapit picking up Blackie. Wakey taking out Vino. Our first place is gone as Thomas AC is on the same layer as Wakey here. He might be able to pick up this elimination, but he gets tagged for leaving that edit open here. Thomas AC is in shambles in a bit when it comes to the health-wise, and he has to work on through because that Storm's on the backside. Paco picking up Wakey in the feed here as Thomas AC has no point, but he has to go down into the depths of the low ground where we all know there's so many other people desperate, and that desperation comes through, getting taken out.
Analyst went close down and personal with Vidil to maybe have a conversation with him, keeping down below, saying, hey man, stop these retakes. At the same time though, looks like on the right side, there's more players who are looking to gain and take height. Height has been the thing that's been winning these solo games towards the very end. We're now going towards the 8th zone. Deceptos, Grangel, Light all the way down below. Tayson's still alive as well on the same layer as Vidil, but it's Andalex who gets to play this 90-degree angle and sit like a king all the way up on height. Tayson though, meanwhile, on the peasant layers down below, it's chaos all around. You open a wall and 4 different shotguns get shot in front of you. He's looking to see what he can do next. So much loot down there, so many mats. He's painting it, and boom! Kinzel, he takes a huge shot, but none of these bulls are his own. 7 mats now for Tayson as he's looking to survive. Light, he gets shut out. And now with 6 people left, this is where that real big placement comes in.
Regardless of the finish of Tayson, this is a great game for him to follow up that victory out. These are the string of games that you need to be able to solidify yourself in a top 3 situation in terms on the leaderboard. Kinzel, a big name in the region, a DreamHack champion, now moving his way through, trying to pick up as many loot as possible here. Has that chunk cannon, and he has 2 to work with. This is a top 5 situation. Game 3 of the All-Star Showdown solos, and Cammy Andalex finally picks up an elimination and cashes in on this high ground power place.
It'll be Tayson right now. He's gonna be organized. Andalex will be looking for control. Kinzel, he's looking to survive. We'll see exactly who can move in, and I believe Boobbox, the last player here too, who's just absolutely chaotic, breaks the wall in front of him and takes a shot. It's a steep price to pay to stay alive. And now Tayson, barely any builds. He's using the last few for the final fight. Takes 1 more. Zone damage, boom, gets in, has the drop on Boobbox, and a full HP player gets taken out. A lot of mats for him to work with now, but still, Kinzel, he's on the sidelines. 6 HP, blocked off in the zone. Huge from Tayson. Can he get 2 in a row here? It'll be against all odds right now as Andalex has the world and more on high ground. The pressure's there too. This will have to be the retake of the century. Chuck Splash Cannon in the storm, dips back in, but no, Andalex puts a cap on it, puts a shot on it, and takes away game 3.
Let's take a look how it all went down. Andalex from the high ground picks up 1 elim, and then he finally gets the last 2 there. That was huge to stop Tayson. That may have saved the tournament from Tayson because Andalex, the former FNCS champion, shows out and finally shows up. You talked about a redemption. This could be the start and the rise of Andalex flying high with Team Falcon.
Absolutely, that entire game was just a roller coaster of emotions left and right. I was wondering, how would it look if Chapix had a chance in half and half to play out? I mean, even Savage rolling in some struggles here and there, but at the same time, he's picking up a few eliminations. It feels like all our competitors are finally waking up now halfway through the competition. Fino actually taking shots with Shizo as well halfway through, Sancho. That was a game that had effects on every single portion of the leaderboard.
The pressure is rising. Game 3 in the books. Let's take it to the analyst desk of Zeke, Reese, and Levin to tell us what's up.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Games. I mean, this is pretty good. So Andalex, I like what Sancho said there, just kind of holding off Tayson for a little while, okay? Andalex doing his best job. I believe I only saw the 2 eliminations, and that worries me, friends, because yes, the eliminations and the victory royale are great, but you really need to get more than just a handful. 2 or 3 is really not enough. But Levin, once again, Tayson, I mean, this guy, you top 5, made top 5 in FNCS Invitational and solos, once again back at it. He was your prediction, and right now he is holding on to that #1 spot. Had he gotten the victory out, those extra little points might have been helpful, but honestly, Levin, coming up and making it all the way into 2nd place, he's already won. That's a victory in itself.
Well, look, you know, you're sitting there above. You can't, you know, be too safe. It's only game 3. 3 eliminations in the second place isn't too bad, especially coming off a first place with 4 eliminations. And Alexa did actually have 3 eliminations, Zeke. So he's sitting there in 11th, just outside the top 10 now. That's a nice game for him to start to get back involved in the action. And honestly, look, that was a nice finish. You know, the casters had me on edge there because they were making me believe that Tayson could have that comeback of a century, but it did end up going to Anderlecht, and you know, standard win for him, and it's good to see him finally getting involved, Reese.
It's good to see him finally getting involved, and in all honesty, this kind of reminds me of his last season too, where they had a really bad first day in trios, and then the second day they came back up. But oh, look, we have to talk about that clip by Noah Riley right there. Ulrich, someone I know on Twitter tweeted that Nate just got the Noah Riley treatment, and that is exactly what just happened. Absolutely beautiful box by him. And again, this was Thomas HD. Remember, he was 3rd coming into this game, but just was not able to put it together, having such poor rotations earlier on coming into 5th zone, just didn't have anything to work with in the moving zones.
Yeah, this is, you know, I talked about the chaos earlier, right? There is just so much going on, but you're seeing now, you know, even with the Storm, you know, you have these players who are able to just stay consistent, and Tayson is really showing how to do that. When he's on low ground like that, he is just going to hit you shots. He is going to get the limbs, and to be honest, there wasn't really much he could do here against Anderlecht, and Anderlecht is positioned here with so much health, with so much materials. It was just a matter of how long he could stay up for. Honestly though, if you want to win the All-Star Showdown, you gotta start picking it up, because Tayson will just run away with it if you allow him to continue to have these games. It's crazy, because you look at the limb feed and you think, oh my gosh, all these players going down, you know, there's so many, you know, who's left? And then you see him right there, Tayson, you just see him in there in the end game, right? You have all these top players cycling in, all these players who expected to do well, cycling in game to game. But Tayson so far, since that second game, just been there. And that's what you need if you want to, you know, be someone who's winning these events, right? You need to have a couple of these good games. You know, one more good game from Tayson, and, you know, you might want to start hanging it up. Do you know what I mean? You know, you switch off your mouse, you know, put it up for charge, and just move on to the next competition, because he can just run away with it if you give him that opportunity.
Yeah, I kind of said a few times that in a 6-game format, you need 3 good games. You need a first or a second, something close to another top 3, and then a kind of top 5, maybe top 10, depends on what the other players are doing. Well, he's ticked the 2 hardest of them off the list already, a first and a second. 3 games less, you know, there's definitely still close, like Vino and Floki still super, super close to him, and Jetsku actually in 4th on 50th as well. So, 3 more games left to go.
I hate to cut you off, but I'm getting worried. The bus is going. We got to go back onto the casters, so we'll send it back their way for the next game here from the FNCS Invitational.
Hey, the FNCS Invitational might get renamed to the TNCS Invitational, because right now, Sancho, it's Tayson's world, and if it's one more game, it might be his universe that we're living in.
I mean, Tayson landing, you know, where he is be able just to have so much mobility, so much freedom to do what he does best. And Tayson right now, this is match 4. You're seeing the island there, and it's about to be filled with all our competitors. Right now, our top 3 is Tayson, Vino in 2nd, Floki in 3rd, Jetsku actually with a surprising performance in 4th, Shizo, who's been in 1st for a long time, in 5th, Kenzel, the 2-time DreamHack champion, in 6th, and you have Fast Roki in 7th and Bubak in 8th. But wow, anything is happening right now. The chaos is unfolding, Shio. So, match 4, I don't know what to expect anymore, to be honest with you.
I want to see players looking at the skies more right now. Every end game we've been watching so far, it's the person who has height by like the 7th zone that just ends up keeping it the entire time. Those mid-ground layers end up elevating the entire build to about 7 or 10 layers. It's very hard for anyone to try to retake that entirely. So high ground can just sit there, do what they want. For some people off spawn too, I mean, they've been struggling. Snazy, he's popping minis, he's looking good. Last time had a free Elam almost, but didn't have enough pressure put down to actually wrap it up. Zyku will be here again. Snazy won't have the option to get all the mushrooms and whatnot here either, but he has the chance to just beam him all the way through. One more wall separating Zyku from just living or complete failure, and somehow he gets to run away again.
That vault is not going to be a safe place for you to retreat to. Zyku now on the back foot, wheeling, about to get knocked out here. Snazy now has the SMG. He does have those close quarter weapons to take his engagement. Last time we were tuning in, he only had an AR and a sniper. He closes that out, no doubt, seeing his former partner. In terms of his current trio mate, Anderlecht get the victory out, maybe give him a little bit more power. But now we see Joku, a former teammate at Jetsku here, and in another battle with Panics.
Oh, this is a strat I have not seen before. And while it happens, Pink actually takes out Benji this time off spawn. So that fight's also going back and forth. Did he end up sprinting there and have Jocko hear him? I'm not sure, but the alpha position, I guess, is not gonna work, or I guess he's gonna keep going for it for a long amount of time. What is this?
This is what solos can be sometimes, those ambush plays. I've seen they're being more creative. We see him at first start in bushes, but now it's like hiding on, I mean, it reminds me of chapter 1, hiding on top of a door. You know, that you could do that. You could sit on that ledge. You could do what Jerky's doing, chilling in the bush, down here to the Slurpy Swamps. There's just so many different ways that you have to be careful. That's what makes solos so treacherous sometimes, is that the stress levels are at an all-time high, because anything, any corner someone could be chilling in, someone could be hiding in the cone, someone could be watching a chest. We've seen someone bait launch pads. All that you have to account to, as we're now in this new landmark here down at the dish. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened to Benji Fishy here. And it's the same thing, but this time Pink just got in there. He got a big tag right there and just claws out Benji with the barrel stuff.
Yeah, it feels like that's the difference once again between having an attack off spawn and having a pump. Pink just rolls in. Only has to just keep hitting left click on a target. Never has to switch. His fingers don't have to move on the keyboard hand, so he just has the best movement possible. Meanwhile, Benji hits that big 100 pump. Doesn't have the time to be able to switch again. It'd be sick if he could just shoot another shot, but Pink was there with it, was slightly faster, and that just gets removed. This time, though, the game, it looks like it's a lot slower, Sancho. 95 people still alive, only 3 gone down off spawn. Hen's gonna be jumping into Misty once again and looking for any way to get loot and get out, but with Pizza and Ardit here, with so many enemies looming by, okay, he gets a launch pad. You don't get to have too much of control of Misty.
As I mentioned before, Hen winning an NAE Solo Cash Cup champion. I feel like anytime we're watching DreamHack, Hen's always causing a nuisance in the North America side of things. And Hen finishing first place in the Season 5 trios with Hen and Janice. I mean, now he's just on this retreat right now, and I'm just surprised here. This guy finished 4th and 10th respectively in the solos and the solos invitational. And if it doesn't start now, I just think it's just one of those ones that's just a wash for Hen today.
Just talking about his heart beating 24/7 on socials, that he's, you know, really getting basically versed inside all of this. He's really immersed completely in the competition, and because of that, every surprise, every stressful situation gets him even more nervous for the moment. But I believe in Hen. For Teak as well, 34 points in total right now. He's about half the points almost of first place of Tayson. He has 69, close to 70. After some of the placements gets handed out in this game. A lot of these top contenders, Sancho, I think this would be the game where they have to have a stellar performance, or they're going to be looking to just get in the top 10. They won't have a chance to win the entire solo invitation.
And definitely Teak is kind of used to this kind of being by himself. They do that Cammy split, and you're usually by yourself for a while before you reconvene on that green bridge. And Teak is no stranger to the solos in the World Cup, finished 43rd. And of course, he is a 3-time DreamHack champion, picking up 2 solo victories, and of course, a duo with Seti. Here on the other side of Believer Beach, and now we see Nate, who got the treatment from Noah Riley. I don't think Nate will be a returning customer to the Noah Riley spa. I think he's done for the day and does not want any piece of that. But so far, it looks like Noah Riley may be on the north side here. Now we're back here to Fort Crumpet, in a battle between Siberia and I think that's Jetsku underneath.
Jessica made it pretty far in that last game, so had a way to avoid this fight off of spawn. It looks like this time, though, when it comes to game number 4s, when we're rolling in and seeing exactly the adjustments people are making, sometimes it's to get more aggressive. Siberia with what looks like 0 points right now, rolling in to today's tournament. He has to look to switch things up, has to look to get aggressive, but it's gonna be hard to claim these walls, to get a drop on a Jetsku. This man is really good at defense, and yeah, you can get a shot off of him, but now you've lost all control of the fight. You don't have high ground anymore, and Jetsku's looking to fight.
This is a battle between 98th place and the current 4th place. So Jetsku, a lot more at stake as Siberia goes for the SMG dive, hits the bottom of the pool, doesn't be able to cash in on that one. 0 points from the judges on that dive, as Jetsku, you're right, the defense is there, but he's very elusive. It's very tough to catch. And now Jetsku now rings out. I see in the feed that actually Analyst, the Game 3 winner, going down in the feed. So Analyst unable to string those games like Tayson did earlier. And that's what you're going to have to do if you want to have the big zeros added to your paycheck.
This elusiveness comes at an expense, though, for Jetsku. So many mats invested here. That being said, he doesn't have to really use many more. Siberia is the one actually expending a lot of these resources to reclaim walls. And while he tries to, that single millisecond of a moment that he's replacing a stair with a cone, Jetsku's looking for that shot. Boxed out now, though. Siberia goes for the bullet instead of the build. He will have a chance to shoot, misses, and that costs him. Now he has to reset into getting these builds down. This fight is taking a while. That zone, that first one, it's been about 2 minutes since it's been rolling in, and finally hits these guys on their isolated fight on the top left side of this map. I mean, this is just going to be trouble overall, Sancho, for both competitors, even if they get an Elam here, even if they try to make it out. Siberia actually forcing the composure away from Jetsku. He was sick and tired of the fight, maybe running out of builds. He gets that Elam, and they'll actually be able to keep up with Zone to get back in the game.
4th place going down early in match 4. Now we're on board with 7th place coming into this matchup. Fazroki on the defense as well. Hen may be starting up as he takes out Mr. J. Vortex, one of our Elam leaders of the day, taking out Mappy. So Mappy is just inconsistent today, hot and cold, taking out the names of the E region while getting taken out. And Flick actually cleans up that in the feed as well. But all eyes are on Taysom, and we're going to shift focus. And look how Analyst went down there. He just went box dived and could not defend against Asterios. And we all know here's the Titans of the EU region, Vidil going down as well to Irezumi.
Man, these guys are looking for that, you know, the big shot and the control, and they're trying to play chess, and then you have the opponents coming in, you know, and just flipping the board. They're like, we don't care. What a good lane from Asterios there as well to just roll in with that shot. That was just amazing.
And you've seen Irezumi, the keeper of the Aftermath, taking out Anas as well. So Anas and Vidil on the pickaxe right now of eliminations for Irezumi. And hey, you brought it up in your podcast, so I just want to bring this up. How you're in the solos, you're going to have those box diving defense and offense. And right now we're seeing that. We're seeing players using those box dive, being uber aggressive, forcing the 50-50s. And when you don't have the defense against it and you're not ready for it, we see the ultimate price is being eliminated.
They have the entire package here, and there's so many people who might not even be used to box diving, but will be forced to. They were trying to play passive. I'm not sure what Shizo's trying to do right now. You could just roll off the right side here, man, but obviously there's something behind. There's no reboot card in the zone. There was something there. I guess I missed it. Maybe it was builds?
I mean, this is the thing, like, Shizo, yeah, you started off hot, but we all kind of be like, there was like an asterisk there, Shizo. We all know that Shizo, can he do it for these kind of games intensity? Yeah, he was able to capture the glory early on, but it is so tough to keep on. It is definitely a marathon here, and Shizo needs to survive that to be able to answer his critics, so to speak.
I still don't see what he was trying to do. Big trap, though. Not his 4, gets the reset, gets him up, but he's taking too long. Okay.
Wow.
That's the next shot, too. Everyone has a pump right now. For some reason, can't transition into a spray or upkeeping the pressure of damage fast, and it's costing them. This tack is just winning every single early game fight. And Shizo, I mean, I guess it's unorthodox. It's unexpected. He's doing some weird pathing inside that storm to find some type of item. It baits out that opponent there, and he just gets the Elam.
Shizo just silencing those critics for a brief moment here as Kenzel picks up Malabuka. Now we're on board with Thomas HD making his way through, and looks like we're going to have an in-game near Weeping Woods. So a lot of sight lines will be blocked by the trees. We always have to bring that up, especially in a launch pad mobility meta. So that's going to afford a lot of people to be able to get those easy glides here. Now up to Boney Burbs. You're taking a look at Reason, who landed here during the FNCS Trios. Reason has a great stake of overseeing the land here, looking for those valuable tags with that burst rifle.
He is in the scariest spot and the riskiest spot in the server right now, and it might not look like it, but every time I see someone 4 or 5 layers up at the moment, they're getting sniped, Sancho. Chapix, half and half, people rotating. Barely even peeking his head, he's staying dynamic I mean, Thomas HD, brap, it's just there, right? Like, it just, it is so difficult to go for surge tags in this manner, which is why maybe we're seeing a lot of box dives, but for some reason, every single tower right now is getting invaded by sniper shots.
And you're hearing those sniper shots ring out in the distance.
Absolutely, so we'll see. He's gonna make a switch right there. Floki finding out at Logjam too. This will be a tricky type fight to actually get in. Up with the Burger joint as well. They'll dive in, and now the builds are set ablaze.
Floki in 3rd place here. So just like we saw Jetsku go down early, this is going to be big. He's going up against the FNCS champion from last season in Queasy here. Floki using every aggression he can with the pickaxe here. This is the nice pressure that we've been seeing. This is definitely expending the mats of Queasy here, but he forgets to block his backside. Puts up some mats and he keeps going forward. He has the tunnel vision and he has Queasy in his sights. He wants this elimination here, but you have to be careful. All it takes is one pump reaction, and looks like it's gonna have to be a tac shotgun reaction, and that will stop you right in your tracks as Matzo picks up Sapphic.
Queasy also up inside a fight. Still. Sapphic picked up left and right, yes, but from what I'm looking at right now, everyone's just forced into these battles just because of the surge.
Look at this feet, bro.
It's nasty. But Floki's found it, right? He's found it over and blocked it off with the ramp now, so it's not going to be possible to do. You're able to replace that wall. Gotta think about it though, Sancho. Zone is going to be moving in just a minute here. I know there's some people thinking storm surge damage right now around. It's actually Wakey who, oh no, loses his shield. That's even worse for the moment. These 4 people, I would say only one survives making it in the circle.
Who is going to be the one in this Fatal 4 battle here at Logjam? Janus gets taken out in defeat. Janus coming in 43rd in this fight. Wakey in desperate need of Storm Surge. That's why he's entering this fray. Here comes Slender. The 2 loot boys kind of swirling around this engagement now. Wakey has to get in, dude. He has to get in. He's not being really aggressive. He's trying to catch somebody, but the Storm Surge, those purple lightning is making him an easy target, and Queasy gets right in his face and takes him out quickly with some 2 shots of the tac.
Only one person was brave enough to stay here inside, and that was Queasy. Look at this Elam real quick right now. Boom, boom, Wakey. Caught, like, you know, with his shoelaces completely untied. Drops a launch pad as well for Queasy to use for the rest of the game. He will be slightly delayed on that rotation, though.
Hey, you know, I'm not gonna lie, dude. It took me a while to learn how to tie my shoelaces, dude. I used to be a Velcro kid. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But now what I'm concerned about is we saw Analyst, we saw Snazy finding some success. X-Sweeze, their other trio mate, has not found any success here. Only 1 point to his name. The Frenchman is struggling today. X-Sweeze is one of those other people that are really quick to get into those eliminations. It's Janus, Noah Riley, and X-Sweeze. And so far, this is not working out for him.
Vino 2 is looking to just stay up top, and let's see exactly where he just came from. I see the sniper in hand. Okay. That's slow motion, so I mean, that's basically a quick scope right there that he pulled out. Drops that sniper as well. This is one of the coolest things about having these like very risk-reward power weapons. Once you get an Elam with them, once you actually have that risk of keeping them in your inventory, you can get rid of it, Sancho, completely. You can set yourself up with that sniper as well. You can pick up a lot of, you know, hop floppers or different things to be able to use that sniper from different vantage points, and then drop all of it when you get one Elam, replace it with what that person had, and chuck splashes into the inventory there of Vino as he moves. We saw what happened the last time he had them in his inventory. This man took the entire tournament by storm, first place in total. The wins look good, everything, or just the consistency looked good in general. He makes it so far deep into the game. A 5th, 4th, and then 26th place. Now he's going to be looking to get consistent once again for X-Squeeze. Consistency, I mean, that's just thrown out the window right now. He's trying to just get one game on the board.
You're all looking at X-Squeeze here. Comes in 11th place. Last time we had a solos competition, that was about 9 months ago. And now back to Mr. Savage, another EU star. Not yet. This rocket has not left. It's not in the stratosphere. It's not in space. Right now, Savage going for the clever edit down chop. Oh my goodness, but that gets the attention of the lobby. And Savage has been in this position before. It was last season in the FNCS. in about game 11, I believe. He was on this rotation through Weeping Woods, needing to have a game to be able to hold on, and now Savage still in the world of hurt.
I'm wondering why he just basically unedited all his builds completely. It feels like people would then catch an eye to that happening right there
was
too.
Up there. Maybe he thought someone was up there. I'm not quite sure, but I agree with you.
Yeah, that literally just got more eyes on him. There's something there that I guess I just missed, because definitely wouldn't be that much of an honest mistake. Still, he'll roll in, he'll get pressured, had lots of eyes on him. Maybe it was just completely indifferent. Cammy's kind of popping off and moving up the ranks as well, game to game, making it further on. Kaiser, I mean, he just picked up 2. I was looking at his socials for a minute as well. He was like, man, these games are not going my way. I might just turn on the key, and he really is. He picks up Cammy, he picks up another. He's looking to be dangerous. Shizo, though, I mean, I am pausing all my analysis when I see this man move. He does things I can't predict, Sancho, so I'm going to enjoy the way he's attacking the field right now.
What he has to do is use his unorthodox way to make his way through on this rotation. No arrows looking his way, and he's been free all day. It's just free. Sometimes you look at a guy, you're like, wow, he has it all, he has it all figured out. And then you try to mimic what he exactly does, and you pay the price. Folks, this is not supposed to be happening. Shizo's not supposed to be moving. This guy, all the bullets, he's like, enter the code. He sees the 1s and 0s, and no one can touch this man.
This is just crazy. He gets boxed off as well by Bad Sniper. Gets the lift for now. Okay, the punishment finally comes in. I feel like he's surrounding himself with certain zones and players that might not be as good as punishing mistakes, or they're figuring out their own things as well. I feel like Shizo just has perfect timing in general. Right there, though, the issues is just him choosing weird paths. Bad Sniper sees him coming, sees that easy box up and trap, gets the elim, and more importantly, Sancho, look at the AR, look at the options. He has so many. Gold Sniper in tow, purple tack, launch pad. This, if there's anyone on the server right now that has a maximum potential to do well this game, it has to be Bad Sniper.
Agent Bad Sniper took out Mr. Shizo, but we're taking a look at the mini-map on the bottom right. Look at this. Now, wow, Thomas AC actually pulls half and half, and a majority of the servers on the side. I was about to point out that the dead side there was not a lot of people here. Someone must have figured out that everybody has to be in this corner of the half in and half out, half in the storm, half in the safe zone here. And Tayson still alive with 3 peppers. This is a recipe for success, and that recipe gets a little bit of splash of spice when he gets those tags on snap.
Everyone will be moving in. 200 AR is enough for him to actually do damage from long range. Has all the pressure as well. Gold tack moving in as he jumps from build to build. 4 layers up high in the sky. Is this high ground possibly, or a situation where he can grab it? Yes, but Queez is here now. Fleck and Shaykaz, every single Titan that's been taken down, multiple big names is beside him. He has to be careful as Exterios goes down in the feed.
Now we're seeing another name that's moving up the leaderboard as well. It's Slender. Slender coming into this match with 10th place finish right now, sitting really solid with 50 points. He's definitely moving up the leaderboard. Look at this inventory. It's filled with a lot of mercury, and that is fish. He has 6 total, and 2 of those are hot fish. So expect him to be someone who could be to taking that high ground quickly. As Vino, wow, the chug cannon is there. 3 elimination. Vino coming into 2nd place into this matchup, and by far one of the most consistent players besides Tayson here today.
He's playing things so well too. You heard Levin talk about him, right? Like the OGs, they might be rolling in and knowing exactly what the new players might not exactly understand what is going through with them. But we'll see Tayson on basically a complete different path than Vino when he's rolling in. Fleck and Alexa actually end up taking height. This is 1st place right now that you're looking at. He's gotten 3 points so far this game. These peppers last 1 minute each, so if he makes it to the 7th zone, he could have permanent speed rolling in all the way towards the very end. We'll see if it's possible. Taking shots at multiple people all beside him. 193 AR. He has a lot of time to stay online on these bullets as well, but each of these walls he edits, he gets closer to sight lines like Shaco's right there. Bad Sniper down below. He sees a launch pad to actually reuse, and boom, he's all the way up in the sky with 5 other people. Siberia and Irazumi's deja vu from last game. The same players. He goes to re-hit it, actually. Genius from Tayson. Head now in the sky, and he has a later rotation. Costs him a little bit of shield, but he's looking good. Vino's also in the sky. Thomas HD too.
Dude, dude, Vino and Tayson did the same thing, and Vino went back again to hit that pad. That's how valuable that movement is. He knows he could do that with the chug cannon. He perches on top of someone. Now he's sitting above the chaos that's down below, as Thomas AC is causing that chaos. Gets a big elimination there with the green pump shotgun. This is what's happening here. Who's gonna have that strong position on the front side? Tayson still petrified. Eats the last one here on the low ground. Makes this rotation here. No one in sight, and Savage is still in the feed, picks up plate, but look at this free rotation as Bellix takes out Savage.
He's a spinning top rolling in on low ground. Every single person that gets right beside him gets slashed. A huge jumping shot from the attack to stop Siberia in his tracks. Now his eyes set on Kinzel. 51 damage once again. He's looking for the actual roll-in knockoff shot. He's looking for that refresh of materials. Not gonna find it. Fucking Slender. They go down to Virox. Vino takes out Seti, so he's still active and alive. And as a refresh at this portion of the game, look at height though. Who won the fight though? It was Queasy, who now has control above the trees. He will not be disturbed for the next 2 zones. It'll be up to Vino and everyone on mid ground to get a lot of those elims to switch up how things are going, or Queasy could roll away with the competition.
Let's see how it goes down here. It is 12 people alive. This is game 4. It's coming down to it here. Tayson on the bottom of your screen, Vino on the top. It is first and second, and that is what's separating the two. It's just a matter of points here. Tayson with a great, unbelievable 3 games finish right now. About to get closer to the top 10. If Tayson gets to the top 10, now Vino is going up for height. Queasy's on the green. He's in trouble now, and Vino's sitting pretty at height here. He's gonna need a refresher because he only has soft mats and 25 builds. Trulix is able to catch Queasy on the low ground, and now he's back to old builds, and this is gonna be huge for Vino. Not only that, the placement points will keep racking in as you see a new name join that elim feed.
Vino up top, second place. Tayson down below in first, opposite corners of the earth. Trulex, he's looking for shots, has an entire angle on a full layer, but there's surprises around every corner. No one's going down. Top 10 as the zone gets smaller. We're in the final line here. 1 minute 20 seconds left for every competitor alive right now. Trulex sees someone walk above him, but he can't do anything. Sneezy behind this right wall could have that edit too. I don't think this is the person's wall. Tayson, he's going to clear a lot of things in front of him. Thomas HD finds Bad Sniper. It's up to Tayson now to stay alive. No one's actually watching where he is inside his portion of the feed. Vino now is on Thomas HD and dropping down a lot of pressure.
Vino has plenty of AR to send down. Snazy picks up Trulix here. We are looking at first and second. Once again, Tayson only down to 3 builds. And Thomas HD, the 9th place coming in. It's taken out by Vino. Vino, oh my goodness, you're performing out of your mind right now. And Tayson gets picked up by Hen. Actually gets picked up by Snazy. So Hen picks up Snazy. So Hen is right there. Hen having a performance that he needed. He had literally single digits, now in the double digits with 9 elims. Hen, the English Lord, is showing up. And he takes out, Naps takes him out. And Vino comes in, takes out Hen, and then Naps sits up on top. What a crazy ending game right there. Elims happening back and forth, Shio.
Domino effect in the jungle, and the mighty lion Vino gets taken out. My lord, that jump pump was insane. Hen was going for it, tried to, and boom, it was actually a clasping, just scissor shot right there. Both people snipping away at the HP of Vino. It takes 2 to take out the man who's been so consistent today. But overall, Tayson alive in that game. Multiple people getting eliminated from the backside over and over. It was just backstab after backstab. And honestly, I'm looking at the leaderboard changing up so much as well, from 3rd place down to 10th, Sancho. The top 2, they're playing really well. Everyone else, they're putting the pedal to the metal to be able to make it up high.
We're seeing a lot of the top of the board go down in that matchup. We're gonna need the analyst test to show us what's going down. Let's kick it to the boys.
Guys, game number 4. My goodness, what is happening here? The chaos is reigning right now. And Vino, oh my gosh, just showing up in massive ways, Reese 11. I mean, this guy is a solo player. He knows what he's doing, and he's ready to slay.
Look, you know, we talked about how somebody needed to step in to really be Tayson's competition in this one, and Vino's the one that's stepping up. And look, Vino is genuinely one of the most talented players that we have in the game at the moment, like I said earlier, and he's finally getting to show that on the big stage now. You know, phenomenal performance. You know, he's wearing the farmer's outfit. He's treating the lobby like they're a bunch of farmers. Like, genuinely, he is just, you know, he's performing amazingly. And you can see him here in second place. Tayson still retains his first place position with place game. And even Thomas now, who's also been quite consistent in being in these endgame scenarios, sitting in third.
Yeah, you know, realistically, looking at the matches between Tayson, you know, that we saw in the first match, the only one that's really been able to take him out early was Vortex, right? So he went down that 91st. Then he's had a first, a second, and now a fifth. Vino has just been consistent. A fifth, a fourth, unfortunate 26th, but at least got the moving, and then a third as well. So huge plays from him. And we've got to give props to Thomas as well. Kind of up in third, moving closer and closer as Tayson and Vino kind of separate and get the gap further between them. Thomas HD's still there. He's still in the running.
Look, you know, we're giving shout-outs all around the board. Let's give a shout-out to Nebs, the winner of the game.
Yeah.
You know, look, Nebs is somebody who, you know, he's been playing with Waze and Bubak, and, you know, there's been lots of conversation around that trio as sort of a new trio, you know, sort of on the horizon, and their performances have been put into question. Nebs now on the solo stage, you know, putting in a solid performance, picking up a win in a game like this, where he's not necessarily the most veteran, experienced player. That's huge for him in terms of the trajectory of his career moving forward. And, you know, shout out to Nebs, good performance. I believe he's at boot camp, right? So he's playing in like a LAN setting for the first time probably in his career. You know, that's huge. Props to him for picking up that game.
Yeah, it's huge. I know his dad's a big follower of the scene as well. He'll be watching, he'll be proud, he'll be happy about it. So great job from him. He's actually moved up till 5th if we missed that on the leaderboard. But this was that final moment where we obviously saw Vino taking that hike so kind of midway through the match. But because he'd obviously picked up so many elims, and this was the point for Hen. We got actually another shout out. You know, we've been shouting out players left, right, and center here, but shout out to Hen, who had 3 points coming into this game. So 3 points coming out into it, and just let me double check, what is that, 44 now at this point? So that was a 41 point match from him, which has moved him from what, 95th to 13th. So Hen could still be in the run with the next 2 games as well.
Yeah, and the thing about Hen's performance there that was really intriguing to me is you look at some of the good games we've seen from people, the likes of, you know, Tayson's good games. There haven't really been the high elimination ones we've been, you know, expecting out of the top players. You know, Thomas had a 7 elimination game in his first game, but Hen coming in there, you know, sort of leading the charge and showing, look, I'm gonna pop off. I'm gonna blow the elim record out of the water, do you know what I mean? And I'm gonna really dominate like a top player should. So props to him there. I think if any of these other top players who are in that, you know, top 5 at the moment can have one of the games like Hen just had, where you just have, you know, maybe 10 plus eliminations and a first, second or third, it's gonna get real difficult to catch up. So
boys, we'll see, man. We'll see. We only have 2 games left, and then we are done with the action here from EU. But for now, we're going back into the game. So Sancho as Shy Wager, back over to you, friends.
Game 5, and we feel alive right now, Sancho. This is where things really start to get different in the competition. Things kind of, you know, solidify up. Some people choose to be a little bit more gaseous and move all the way around the map. I mean, this is going to be where the pedal hits the metal.
Absolutely, and you're seeing the names of the region putting that pedal to the metal like Hen. Reese nailed it right there, literally vaulting up the board. And just how close he was, he easily could have been in the top 10 right now if he picked up those last 2 eliminations and the Victory Royale. We saw it. He got a big shot, and just Nebs was able to get it and just snatch away those 2 eliminations at the very end. But wow, this is the finish that we're expecting. It's All-Star Solo Showdown. And Shayo, man, I just right now, I'm just hoping maybe our prediction of Savage could kind of get up there right there just like Hen.
Possibly. For me, I'm kind of switching over the stocks from Savage to Tayson.
Do that
for the moment. I can do what I want. 100%. Right now, this man, he's rolling in. He's tied for first place with Vino. I feel like Vino's also just having such cool ways of surviving all the way towards endgame. I mean, this is looking really good. For Tayson, though, we're trying to see him, you know, it was the 1st, 2nd, and 5th now, that first game being a 91st. Game 5, I feel like a VR has to come through again. He has to separate himself from Vino and everyone else as well.
2 games left, my friend Shayo, and this is what's coming down to who's going to have those great games. Tayson, Thomas HD, and Vino, your top 3 on the right side of the screen. Thomas HD, 7 elims, as 11 2K brought up in a previous game, and you know what? We all thought that maybe Seti and Thomas HD would collide, but so far they're, you know, being a little bit more intelligent when it comes to this. They're not clashing. They're understanding that the north and south side will be, split amongst themselves, and at the same time, you're seeing Pink and Benji are doing the quite opposite of that, my friend.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this POI, just in general, it's just really hard to get good loot and fight and be on good time as well. There's so many ways that, you know, Setting can go. And Fetchy on the turret.
He almost did it though, dude.
Oh my God, what? There's no way. Oh my goodness, 1 HP from Pink at the end. This man, the engineer, I guess, taking Benji Fishy out. You can't use the turret like that, my friend. That's a lot of damage, though. That was a ton of damage. Benji almost had it.
And though that is not a kind of one of those trap items, that is one of those things that permanently lives in the dish area, of course, to fight off the invasion. We saw the mothership. We've been seeing a lot of alien activity around. Of course, this is the cosmic summer that's happening, but right now, the sun is shining on Tayson. As you see, first place right now, tied actually with Vino, so there is a cloud that is about to rain on his parade, and that is in Vino. But if Thomas HC, who've been seeing, who's behind 20 points, he could be able to have a decent place and finish, and Elims to back that up as you're seeing the rest of the leaderboard unfold.
Everyone's so much closer in every spot when it comes to solos as well. You never know when one person's been eliminated right off spawn, and you can just make up all the points and placement and many other places as well. But when you look at these games, Sancho, all the way towards the very end, they get heavily chaotic. Even bounce backs aren't free, right? You think that you have control over your lair, suddenly Bass Sniper's rolling on your wall, suddenly Thomas HD has the drop down on you. Even over here in these fights, it seems like, you know, Bayonetta, this guy is so far away. Bayon's just big chilling, and the Legend 27 rolls in and just ends up picking them apart, makes the distance over, and is putting pressure on his walls already.
This engagement's happening on the new POI of Corny Complex. It's one of those ones that you could have multiple people land out. As you see Bad Sniper out in the distance, the Legend 27, aka Hycris, saw last season, came in 32nd place, battling Hen, Janus, and Chapix alongside with his trio mates down at Craggy Cliffs, deciding to make a venture down into the new area according Complex. And now things are getting quiet. This is kind of the MO of so far in these solos here in the EU region. It's a little quiet here around that 90th portion of those placement points. It's just a little quiet right now. They won't get doled out till we get to the 70s, but it's so interesting to see how there's still creatures of habit. The stats, the numbers don't lie. And we're seeing how the momentum, the rhythm of the game happens here. We're going to hit a little low for a moment, but that doesn't mean, as you're seeing, you can still be active. And the activation is here in Believer Beach. And I don't know, 4ZR, I believed, but Noah Riley is going to come down and give you that treatment that he gave to you, your former mate, Nate.
Every time I see Noah Riley not have a fast fight, it feels like it's one that he can slightly lose. Whenever you're in your edits as well, you feel like you're unstoppable, invincible, but it's not going to be possible. 4ZR from the top side tried to actually drop down an elbow straight into Noah Riley's dome, but misses the shot. What an angle there to try to hit with as well. Okay, I guess 4ZR, he's been used to every single move that Noah Riley's making. It's that whole thing about, you know, reliving the same day, the same situation again and again and again. He realizes all the moves he's trying to make. He's dipping and dodging and not even getting hit. Noah Riley now up inside the water, one build left. 4ZR can really go for this one and get revenge.
This is the jump start that 4ZR may need. Only 5 points in today's competition, 91st place. Knowing that he has Noah Riley on the ropes. Yes, knocked out KO. We could see another type of Hen performance. One tremendous pop-off game could get you on that leaderboard, and this is what's the magic of solos, especially with 2 elims. And when you get to that top 10, just like Hen did, you get placement points alongside with every elim here. So 4ZR, this is where it has to happen. You only have 2 games left, and you're in one of them right here.
Saw about linking the back-to-backs. We saw it happen a lot for, you know, 6-game formats in the World Cup where people have insane back-to-back games, 6-game formats in Cash Cups where, you know, the MMR is a little bit different. You come through and then boom, you're looking really good in your last 2 games. Right now, though, it's a set lobby. Everyone is going to have the same opponents they're facing again and again and again. They'll have to just switch up the style completely and pray that it works for those last 2 games. Not even when people are alive. Shizo going in for the shots right here was looking so good in 2nd place overall at some point. But after that last game, not having much of a say in it whatsoever, so many people caught up. Now in 9th, rolling in once again. The tie up top is Tayson and Vino on 90. It looks so good for the moment. Shizo, though, he's looking to try to crawl back. The unorthodox playstyle, the southpaw type of boxer beat is going to be here, active against the Siptos, but this man is used to catching punches. He'll throw one straight back. and Shizo will have to retreat.
Analyst eliminating Pizza. A lot of jabs are coming to Shizo's way. He is putting up a decent defense here, but Nebs, who's in 5th place currently coming into this match, looming out in the distance, coming from the deep wood dish, formerly known as Stealthy Stronghold. And look at that repositioning from Nebs. The flank is there, and now Shizo's in a world of hurt. Deceptos gets the spoils from Nebs' flank, but Nebs knows that Deceptos is low. Look at that, with that siphon of health, gets up to 60 HP. Now he's gonna pop some minis and be at 110 HP.
Illocrat's finally picking up a few in the feed. This fight's going on all the way towards the backside. Nebs is looking for that back-to-back as well in this game. Wakey fighting once again, and he needs to hit shots fast now. I think it's the 3rd game I've seen he's having some storm surge problems, but a nice 66 pump might be enough for him to just dump that entire fight and move on. He was definitely just looking for the tags. Will pepper straight away, leave Jetsku and Malabuka to their own.
We go from Shizo to his other trio mate, Malabuka, and Jetsku, who went down early in the previous game, slipped down to 4th to 11th place. So Jetsku has to put his feet in the ground to stop the slide here. Malabuka, satisfied with those tags here, is just trying to let Jetsku know that he's still maybe left here. Jetsku understands that he's still in danger. Malabuka just waiting for some opportunities here. Now it's still quiet. Wakey, literally, that's how far this man is away from this fight. Making his way through. This is game 5 out of 6. Right now, Tayson's in the lead. Vino and Thomas HT. Malabuka, 15 points, 69th place. So that's how Jetsku seems to be always in danger of running into someone on the lower of the board here. This is the first time we're seeing Matzo here today. Matzo having a decent day, coming into this fight with 24th. And Matzo has been picking up elims here and there. The run so far, Matzo is at 21st, 19th, 60th, and 70th place, but so far 4 elims total for the day, averaging 1 elim a match.
Let's put things into perspective for a 6-game type of format. I would say the first 4 games are like one movie you're looking at for all these players. Has a very similar plot. You're trying to do everything right? And then this 5th game we're watching right now, Sancho, I'm kind of equating everything to a trilogy here, so it's the sequel. It's kind of the midpoint. These guys will change things. It has as much of an impact as those first 4 games on how you switch things up. That final game is the ending to that trilogy of 6 games. I know it doesn't make that much sense, but bear with me. The trilogy of 6 games these guys are playing. In this one, though, this is where a lot of that development is done on changing things. A lot of the things we were used to in the first 4 games, you know, expectation, subversion, they might change completely. So we'll see maybe Stompy, who's been a little bit more aggressive the entire time, slow things down and look for easier shots. We'll see Panix, who's been waiting for Jaku 24/7, right? And being patient, actually being the one taken out first. And so in the second movie, in this 5th game, we'll see a bunch of that change and surprises and big twists you might not be able to be used to seeing. And then that game 6, that final movie, Sancho, that's where things are the most memorable. You see the best, most legendary moments. In this one, though, I'm just expecting a lot of these players to do things differently.
And we're looking to add another star to that championship walk of fame that's happening right here. Joku may not be that star today, but still making it this far in terms of earning his stripes in previous FNCS lets him know that he's still someone in that top echelons, that top 1%, so to speak, when it comes to the number of players in the EU region. Blackie out in the distance, who normally comes in from Lazy Lake. But Joku has some work to do to move on through. We definitely have to keep an eye on the top 10. And yes, here we are. This is the top 3 that we're looking at. This is 3rd place in Thomas HD, sending out beams all the way through. And this is where his accuracy, I think, affords him a lot of freedom at in-game.
This game will be a response to the 4 that he's played before as well. If we're talking about sequels, what is Thomas HD going to change in game number 5 that he hasn't done in the first 4 games? He's been looking to actually react to tall bases, take snipes, get damage, but at the same time, because of that, he hasn't been in control and at a spot to actually win out games or be at the best hype spots in half and half. Vino, meanwhile, Sancho, he's kind of hitting the shadows and maybe taking height where it works. He's been looking for retakes himself as well, but he hasn't been the point man, the front runner of the lobby. As a result, Tayson has so much room to work and just catch up with Vino at every moment you think that he has the advantage and opportunity. In this game, Vino will have to look to shut out another player, not just be a part of the shadows and then go into the light. He'll have to take control, but that comes with big risks.
Vino, as you've seen that stat fly in, has the most elims in the top 15 in this, and that was 4th place Kinzel. Right in front of him. I don't know if you wanted to pick that fight. That is a 2-time DreamHack solo champion right in front of you. And of course, we all know Kinzel, all the way from the World Cup solos, coming in 30th place. So that's the old guard versus the new guard. My favorite thematic story when it comes to Fortnite. It seems as though every tournament, Shyle, there's always a new name making some noise. You talked about those OGs, understanding who Vino is. But now, if Vino could add the signature championship underneath his belt, that will definitely, what I like about solos is like a great tryout for future trios or future kind of squad games, whatever that comes down the line. It's like, wow, this person did really well in solos. I know this person is he's very intelligent in his rotations, and he could get some eliminations, and he could get those viable storm tags when needed. As you see in the feed, Analyst taking down iDrop.
It's funny you actually mentioned that as well, though, the whole, you know, you do well in solo, so people pick you up for team modes. I feel like when you're actually rolling in with that narrative, a lot of that doesn't happen a lot of the time. The solo's skill might not actually translate to team play as well. A lot of stuff you have to do in solos is very selfish. A lot of the times you have to play for yourself. A lot of the times comms aren't involved either. So these guys, they have that raw skill that's coming in and definitely will be in a points to, you know, be curating that skill. But you know, some people have both sides of the coin available. Kinzel, very good in team modes, very good in solos. They have the whole package.
I think in Vino's case, finishing 20th place in Season 5 of Chapter 2 would kind of pair that to that. You know, that would be the complementary factor to answer it. Yes, he does decently well, and here is a nice graphic explorer Storm Surge here. Ooh. It's going to deal 25 damage, and it's at the same time, it's going to give a kind of a big target or bullseye on your back, understanding that you're going to have some pressure from above here. As you see in the breakdown of 70, 50, 30 players all ending on the respective storm circles here, and we will do our best to keep you up to tight of what's going down when it comes to Storm Surge. And is usually you'll see the lot of action, or as you like to call the spinning tops collide when that is revealed, and that's what Vidil has to deal with. I'm gonna wait for a second. Nope, that man is one above and is in danger.
He has to look for shots, and that was a lot of numbers and words on your screen. It's very easy to say the what. To truly learn, you have to understand the why. Basically, there's builds, there's passivity in the game. You want to make sure people are getting aggressive. You want to make sure it's not just boxes all the way around. Servers can handle things too, so that Storm Surge has to be there. It forces Vidil to make smart, aggressive decisions, and it gives us gameplay just like this. He takes one tag, but at the same time takes Kuriachi out, will be 95 damage above, and that's the why right there. You get the fights you like to see across the Fortnite map. Storm Surge allows for people to do that, allows them to use their brains for certain strategies on how to get damage. It's a huge portion of the game. It's not always on your screen like the health bars you see right down below, the 97 and 100 on Thomas HD, but that 66 above on the right side, I would say is even more important than all the shield and health you can have in the world.
And he does not have a sniper. This is where he likes to be. This is very comfortable. Alongside with his trio mates of Anas and Flick, they kind of put up on these ridge mountain types as Ardit picks up Paco right there. But yeah, they like to sit up in these ridges. Let's take a look at the replay on how Ardit picked up Paco there, sitting on a stair right above, uses the attack, as you're seeing, is so aggressive against builds, especially wood ones, and it was that dangerous 50-50. But now Ardit has a little bit of lobby focus in Kaiser, and I believe that is, I'm not quite sure who is up there. Yes, that is Blackie, who we saw a little bit earlier in the game.
And for that fight right there with Ardit, every box fight is basically about patterns in time and space. So when you're trying to break down a ramp, it takes time to basically, you know, switch to your pickaxe and break that ramp, get an advantage. Because of that time, you'll see opponents move a different way in space right there. When Ardit was actually rolling in, he defied the normal time. Instead of taking out his pickaxe, he just shot that ramp completely. Because of the faster time, his opponent was misplaced in space, and as a result, he gets the elimination. It sounds kind of complicated, but basically, when you move faster in general, you find yourself surprising your opponent. When you go for risks like, you know, using a bullet to shoot out a ramp, not having that bullet ready for your opponent, you could trick them up and then hit a harder shot. Ardit doing really well there at playing the mind game inside the box fight. Now we'll go into the mastermind Tayson so far, who's been so good at getting out of every max zone, at playing Surge well. at manipulating time and space. Ardent going down, but you know, this time Tayson is still alive. We'll see exactly what he does in game number 5.
Tayson's day has been phenomenal with only one hiccup at the start, finishing 91st place with 0 elims. And after that, 1st, 2nd, and 5th place. Nebs, on the same kind of a track of consistency, only had one hiccup here, but he had one victory royale with 4 elims. And that is the kind of games that Nebs has been having. Now we're on board here with Blackie, one of those middle of the pack people that could have that potential to move up the leaderboard with a decent game here. And that's all you're looking for when you got 2 here. But deal. The decent game is just not there. Cammy just survives a Blackie sniper shot his way. As we're seeing everybody making their movement towards the safe zone here. Mawaka, a name I haven't said today, he's alive. Irezumi, who's been taking out the names of the region, still alive. Mexi here is right above Thomas HT. But here is Hen, the one that had the most insane movement of the day with 9 eliminations leading the day. Hen so far with 0, but you can't count this man out.
At the same time, in 6 games, you can't just choose one to define you. You have to have consistency across the day, and this is the trickiest part of this entire solo showdown, getting from that 4th to 5th zone, getting into half and half. Every single 5-meter distance multiplies by 10 into 50 because of all the shots and pressure you have in front of you. Hen, this is not going to be a smooth flowing river for him to get into the game. He has multiple different opponents and builds in front of him to move through. Even Fasroki, who's looking so comfortable in builds, will have to put down pressure on the Stompy and take that close range fight. This degrade pump, I mean, it's going to be hard to hit big bangers with that one. It's going to be tough for this man to play his close range aggressive style.
He's gonna have to be really accurate. Miro getting Elim on Shaco, so you're hearing the sounds of the attack. And Fasroki, this is what he's been doing all day, just picking at people, trying to triple him out down below. He's gonna have to retreat back into his builds just for a brief moment, dip into the minis and the bandage just to hold on. Verox takes out Stompy in the feed, and it looks like the other player that's just above him does not want to be aggressive and chase down Fasroki, and that gives him a moment to breathe. Now, look at all the other people here on the outskirts and the outer regions here. Savage, someone just threw down a mark to let them know, and look at it. This whole region has to make a close to max rotation, and that person is Savage right now is one of them. Savage is in big danger of going down with only 1 corn for white heals here, and a Nos in his grill, and a Nos picking up Hottie and Savage in 2 blinks of an eye.
Anas is too good at picking up the scraps, and today Savage has been having trouble with that pressure, reduced to mere morsels to just get picked up and eaten. Unfortunate for Savage overall. Grey Angel though, Shaco's, a lot of people who are used to mimicking other players and their strategies, their positions, they're just thriving so far today. Reason picks up Swag, who's been active, but Grey is the first one to pad out in front of 48 other people and only get shot twice. This man is mad, but that craziness gets him one of the best positions in zone.
And time to pop to get to 200 HP, pop all his shield right now. Here comes the rest of them, all the other competitors gliding over. Queasy has a great opportunity to find a high ground here. Vino, the recycler of pads it seems, is another free ride. No eyes are looking their way because they're too busy boxing up. And now Vino, who's close to height right now, and with the Slurpfish, he could definitely have another high placement game.
Right now, for this end game, in game number 5, it's all about Vino versus Tayson. Where will both these players end up being? Will they start off on height? Who will go down first? That will dictate who comes into the lead in game 6.
They were both tied in right going into this match here, both at 90 right now. Vino with 94 points right here, and we're gonna have to definitely take a look at Tayson here. Vino with 1 elimination in this game, but does not have a lot of firepower in his inventory. And that's gonna be a danger here. Revsguard in the cone next door. He's gonna send some beams the other way, and here comes Janice. Janice, the 2-time FNCS champion, slows down Vino's aggressiveness. And now you're seeing the tale of 2 stories. You have 2 kind of groups of players, solos on 2 shores here. And looks like one of them is only going to benefit from the first moving, and that is the minority. And Chapik is definitely sitting in one of that front. So expect some beams to go the way through as the majority of the server have to figure out how to make this rotation.
Tayson might be down now as well in the game, so it could be all up to Vino to roll all the way through and actually take the lead off of game number 5. Janice will try to make his duel's legacy actually survive here in the 5th game. He's gatekeeping a lot of players, not landing absolutely all the shots, and is going to go right into his sights, but actually avoid all the shots. Revscar's the one who's eating up a majority of the pressure out of all shields. Mwaka down below gets flicked on. Janus is not stopping and milking this position as fast as possible. Why? The spicy fish, Sancho. He's ready to keep going. He's still pushing on, and he takes out Vino.
Oh my goodness, Janus, I thought he was sitting there a little too long on that perch here, but just sitting there just a brief moment, was able to catch Vino. So our top 1 or 2 are out. That's gonna open the door for Thomas HD and Kinzel. Kinzel picks up an elimination there on Matzo. Matzo is out. Kinzel with this first elim of this match here, getting closer and closer to some big placement. Now we have to figure out where the next zone is gonna be revealed. It is Reason on height. Irez is going for that desperate take for high take, and if that's gonna be an opportunity for Reason to find that elim.
95 points is the lead right now, but both players who are there are kind of out of the running for game number 5. Everyone who's alive right now is looking for that maximum amount of placement. The VR, but as well as the elims. Chapix and Teak mid-air fight, no shots landed, and he boxes up a pad right in front of him too. Oh no, this has to be a very, very fast and precise edit for Teak here to move in, and boom, it's perfect. He moves all the way to the front side of the zone. As he does that though, Blackie takes over height, stops down Savage. Reason does not have enough of the damage to keep up at the same time. 70 players alive. Kinzel is up to 73 points, taking out Game 4's winner, Nebs. He's taking every single person that has a chance to steal away points just out of the running. With 75, he needs 20 more to catch up to our first place spot.
That is it. It's on the line right there. This is match 5, and Kinzel is getting closer and closer to the top 3. Has his sights on Michael. Michael just avoiding the pressure here. Now Kinzel with the edit here. Blackie's at high. Setty's on the front side. Janus on the bottom on the low ground on the front side of the storm. And right now Michael's going down, and Kinzel having to make a big leap coming from height. But let's see if he's going to be able to pick up Knifer. No, he has to turn his attention and move forward because he cannot stay too much on the backside.
5th height retake comes through, and now Reason holds the crown. At the same time, it's taken him a little bit of time to get it fitted to his head. Finally, there on height, Seti right below a mid-ground demon. It'll be tough for him to exercise this man right there. 2 layers below. Tripper is looking for the big shot. It's sneaky, and Janus gets clapped in front of him. He's looking for the back-to-back, steals an AR, and now has the big firepower to play low ground in the zone. Moving around the left, Trippin really good at playing these spots when he's solo. He's looking for the clutch. It'll be up against 3 different players.
Looks like Kinzel went down. Reason coming in from 60th place. This is another pop-off game that we're watching right in front of us. Tripper here sending in the pressure on the low ground, but it's Reason with 5 eliminations there with only 1 build. Looking down below, another elim. Actually, Reason picks up Sapphic, so another elim going over to Reason. Reason with the tags on Tripper. He's going to be able to close this out. It's a 1v1, and he does. 7 eliminations and the victory royale. What a great finish, and he really needed that game. Only 18 points after match 4, and look at the glow up from a veteran of the EU region, Shayo.
A holy beam from above just takes down Seti completely. The hardest part of this game, the main focus for Reason, was getting height. Everything after that was a bonus, a mini game, and this man had the high score, still goes down, gets that final elim. Huge from him, but what a funny game in general, Sancho. It started out so weird. It feels like everyone was still serious, had all their changes. What's left now is the end, the game 6 that's coming up. Everyone has tried everything different. They'll be all on the line here to see who becomes our solo showdown champion.
You said it, game 6 is just around the corner. We're not yet done breaking down game 5. We have Reese, Levin, and Zeke to do that. Let's go.
Guys, thank you so much. My goodness, this was, Levin Reese, this was a very interesting game.
Yeah, the game was an interesting one. It was, look, we had a lot of action, and I think it's the story of solos where you just have non-stop action here and there. You have these players cycling in and out like we sort of established earlier. I think the big thing for me when watching that, seeing Reason actually put in a performance, is Reason's that sort of player where you do expect him to have games like this. I think coming into this tournament, for me at least, you know, I said Tayson was my favorite. If I was to pick a second, it would have been Reason. I genuinely expected Reason to hit the ground running, come in and put in a mad performance. That will push him into contention. Look at him there. Before the skill, I believe he might have been in like 60th. So that game alone has pushed him into the top 10, which is crazy because now this final game is massive, Reese, right? We have Vino who's overtaken. He's in first place now. Tayson, closely behind. Kinzel's really good game. That game pushes him into contention as well. Decision he wants to take in this final game. Whoever has a big game out of these, sort of top 7-ish players has the chance to just really steal the whole show.
Yeah, let's be real. Coming to the final game, we want to see who wins this tournament. We're not sitting here thinking who's going to come 5th, who's going to come to 10th. I know those are huge prize pools, huge moments for these players too, but in this moment, we need to look at who is going to win. Vino and Tayson right now, only a 3-point difference between them. The last game was actually such a surprise because they both ended up being eliminated so much earlier than we thought they would, right? This was way, way deeper than they've been kind of in the previous games, getting top 5 so repeatedly. And that allowed Kinzel and Trippern to kind of catch up at that moment, be super close to them in the leaderboards to be able at that moment, right, to be in the contention. But because before this, they really were close, but not saying, okay, these guys could win it. So going into the next game, we have to keep an eye out for these players. We have to keep an eye out for Vino. We have to keep an eye out for Tayson, Kinzel, these players who are in the top 5 who have the ability to be able to win the entire tournament.
Well, I think now, right, the big thing coming into this last game is that it is sort of a 3-horse race between those 3 players, Kinzel, Tayson, and Vino. It's going to be one of those that sort of pushes to take that first place slot. But the thing that has me a bit jaded, Reese, is we just saw Reason come from 60th place into the top 10. He's in 7th. Do you know what I mean? Really and truly, a big game from anybody across the lobby could push you into massive increases in pricing, right? It can push you into that top 10. And so it's just going to be about watching who steps up in this final game, who has the ice in their veins, who has the ability to pop off the way we just saw Reason do. It's going to be an interesting one. I don't envy the casters here trying to follow all the action that's about to take place, but I will enjoy watching it. That's for sure.
Yeah, if Reason could do a back-to-back Victory Royale, that could be very close to a first.
At least like a top 5, right? Like it's pretty close for sure. And I mean, that's the biggest point game we've seen on the day, 44 points. I mean, look, Fortnite, if Fortnite taught me anything, anything is literally possible. We could see a 45-point game in this next game, but this is what's at stake here, boys. First place, $150,000. But take a look, even just coming in top 10, that in itself is still quite the achievement. Look at this prize money across the board. So my eyesight is definitely on top 10, but you guys are right. I want to see who walks away first.
Zeke, if things were to have ended, right, just here, Reason would have had 4,000. Going into that last game, Reason would have been finishing in 60th, what?
Exactly.
4,000. That game alone would have given him, what, 50K? Like, what are we doing here? Like, really, I shouldn't be on the battle bus trying to get into the game. Like, one big pop-off. Like, look, I'm not the best player, but I'll do all I can to get the one big pop-off to move up in pricing, do you know what I mean? And I think anybody else in the game should be looking at that and looking at that potential, like, look, I might be in 50th right now. I'm not out of it. I can still make loads and loads of money here. So, this last game is pivotal to a lot of people's tournaments.
Yeah, it's pivotal for those players who are down on the leaderboard, but let's be real. The championship, the big $150,000 is more pivotal for some of these players like Vino, like Tayson, like Kinzel, like Thomas HD, like Trippern, who are in our top 5 right now, who are capable, who are ready to take the championship crown and be ready for it. I'm very excited to get into the final game.
Well, friends, let's do it. It's game time. One last time from EU in the FNCS All-Star Showdown. Shy West, let's get it.
Shy Wager and Sancho West on the mic. Thank you so much, Zeke, Levin, and Reese on the desk. This is close. This is the most grand tournament of the year. And Sancho, this is where it all comes down to. Look at the total points. 95 in first place for Vino.
3 points separating them as well. Kinzel, 15 points separating that first place. We've seen the major pop-off games from Hen. We've seen it from Reason, who's sitting in 7th place. It's all on the line. This is the final moments, and I feel like this music just amplifies that. It's like acquisitive state that we're all in, and we're trying to solve this problem that we have with the ultimate answer of who is gonna be the FNCS All-Star Showdown Solo Champion. It's happening here. It's happening right now. Put everything on pause because things are about to get wild. Let's go. Game 6. It's time.
This is that final stage, the last question, the fully final game of this huge I would say game show, you know, who wants to be 150,000 air, basically. There is no phone a friend option. It is solos completely. Once again, Diablo taking out Flecken over at the Shark. Vino, 95 points. He went down inside that 5th to 6th zone rotation. Unfortunately, when it came to reaching the end game, he did not get to get a majority of the placement. That was his chance to get away from Tayson. They'll be locked arm in arm, first and second place, a 3-point difference.
That's one story that we have to keep an eye on. Now we're seeing Noah Riley, part of the trio mate of Reason, and Reason, his partner, is doing really well and coming in 7th place, but that's the thing that I'm worried about. I'm surprised. Vino is literally landing at Bony Birds alongside near where Reason is. Reason must have changed his drop spot. Now we're taking a look at some of the names in the Reason. We're seeing Benji Fishy up there in this dish area. Kenzel is the one that can make things happen. 3rd place. And Kenzel, I'm surprised, dude. We were talking about being that acquisitive state, answering difficult questions, and we're all wondering, can you win an FNCS championship from Coral Castle? Why, yes, you can, my friend. Why, yes, you can.
Hey, Max, you can get close, right? You can get so close. I mean, I'm hyped up to see if this man can do it. We've seen him win other big tournaments before against some of the top players in the world right now. The Benji Pink battle, I mean, this is just for personal pride right now when it goes through. These guys are so far behind individually. They can still roll up and get the tiers of prizing, but I feel like they're going to still battle it out over and over again.
Benji's just had one of those days that it was, I know I've been using the word question a lot, but we're all wondering what was going to happen to him today. What will he do in a final set lobby type vibe? We all know he's really well at solo cash cups and things of that sort. And we thought that there was a glimpse, a moment that he was able to outshine just to show the world what he is capable of. But it just wasn't the day to day.
Not at all for the moment. Vortex finally going down. There's also always that one person, Sancho, right? That starts off the day. They look so good overall. They affect a lot of the people rolling in. And I just see high potential for Vortex for the rest of any other solos competition. If he gets a hold on the pressure on the nerves and he upkeeps that aggressive stance, can definitely affect a lot of people and be just like Vidil and Reason when it comes to aggressiveness.
I was going to say that. He was going to be a Reason Vidil 2.0. And that's the thing when it comes down to it. It's just a matter of having that experience, getting it underneath your belt. And we thought that experience will be able to be something that Hen could kind of ride out, but it's just does not have enough gas in the tank here. I mean, we're talking about a pop-off of astronomical versions. I remember last season I said that one person could come. I said exactly. I was like, Hen could actually win the Sol with this trio mate, but that last game was just a little bit too much to bear, as you're seeing Pink being a little bit too much to bear for Benji Fishy. Benji Fishy's tournament run is over.
Had a good showing though, some fun on some turrets. It was a nice time to watch overall from Benji. We love to see it. And now we'll see Vino just getting all his loot together. That hot flopper there for him to make that 4th to 5th zone rotation. It's huge, making sure that no car gets to be able to drive around for free. You'll see how close things are from 11th to 20th. It is a 5-point game. It is literally 2 elims, just a little bit of placement as well, that can boost you up so far in prizing, that get you even into the top 10, Sancho. This is one of the closest solo competitions we've seen in EU.
Vino coming from that all-star play-in, coming in 2nd place. He had an average points of 15 per game, average placement of 26 and 15 elims. So he's playing a little bit better than himself at the moment, and he's doing it in a high-tier set lobby. As you see, Reason, oh my goodness, wait, go back. He got tagged by a snipe. He got tagged by a snipe. Vino got tagged by a snipe from the distance here. He's got to box up now. This is a very dangerous position here for our 1st place. And he has to dip into that, but oh my goodness. That could have been bad if someone saw that, dude. If someone heard that shield crack, Reason was literally within an earshot him in that main tower there in Bony Burbs. You all know that. All I heard is just one of that, and that is just the dog whistle for him to go in after and eat.
Not this time, though. Vino's far enough. But because of that snipe, he might be moving in a way that he didn't actually plan to before. I mean, we see what happens when Reason finds someone at their drop spot. We've seen Reason go all the way down to Weeping Woods to find a certain type of elim, but Vino will box up. He'll be slightly out of sight, which is the most important thing right now. You can hear the builds that he's making, and that sniper's coming from the way backside, so he went that way basically to avoid any of those shots.
And I love this intelligent play right here by Reason, understanding that majority of your points here will happen at in-game. Yeah, that's 2 points right there, but it's not worth getting. As you've seen Kemi eliminate Seahorse, it's better to survive as long as possible. Because I've said it before, it's that top 10. You get placement points for every elimination that happens or occurs. And if you get that elimination, you get basically 3 points. So as you see, Shaco's honks the horn and says hello to Reason. Now this will be an opportunity that Reason may take for it and take out Shaco.
Possibly. You're talking about the 2 points you might not need. Very good breakdown from Reason as well. Moving over, he loves that topside pressure. This time he'll keep it unorthodox, jumping all the way into the box almost straight away. It's so tough for Chicos to know exactly where he's coming from. Oh my God, Reason. Just so perfect, but he dives a little bit too far inside, takes a little bit of damage. All that is just a water splash in the face to wake him up. He's living in here. He's breathing in these fights. He loves being inside these positions. You do damage to Reason, it's a little bit of a buff. It gets scary for you then because you know you've rattled the beast. Now, we'll see how he attacks this one right after the fact. This is going to be a 50 pot he goes for. I don't think there's enough time. Has to maybe go for the shot first. He extends out the base to get a little bit of room to pop that 50. Lots of mats invested here, but he has around 600 to still work with.
Also has a couple of eyes his way. Someone else is entering this fight. The third party, it is Swag. Swag, a name we haven't seen today on the broadcast feed. This could be very dangerous for Reason here. Had the 44-point game, vaulting him from 60 to 70th to 7th place. This just shows you how much power Reason could have and how much potential he could have in this and shake up that top of that leaderboard. No doubt anyone that's in the top is watching, and we all know it's tougher to hold on to a lead, Shayo. You play a little bit closer, things get a little bit tighter. As Thomas HD, who has been around in the top 5, it seems like all day, has yet to get a victory royale. We all know he could do it. We all see him get the snipes. And you take a look at the history of it. He came in 8th, 28th place in game 2. 3rd, he had a 19th place finish, 6th, and then a 64th place finish. So some inconsistency, but still on top of the board for most of the day.
Let's put the numbers aside and talk about the way Thomas HD has been playing today. This form of being in towers, going for snipes, that's been his first 4-game plan. He dodges one slightly from the left there as well. That could have been his entire tournament run done right there. He's coming in at 5th place overall today. In that 5th game, he switched things up by being close and personal, going slightly more for box fights or getting aggressive with the AR rather than relying on the sniper. He's taken down people like Chapix on height in the 5th zone. He's affected these games, and I would say more of a way than people in the final zones even have in the 1v1. So Thomas HD has been huge so far as a passive overlooking watcher. In this game though, he's gonna have to get a little bit more close and personal. He's gonna have to grab height himself. He's gonna have to sacrifice the pressure he loves putting on the entirety of EU if he wants to get a high placement.
And he's been getting a lot of pressure from the storm circles, and we saw that stat fly in that when he does not pull that half in and half out, when he has to go a max distance, he's been able to survive, and he's been getting the match placements there. So no matter what, if the odds are against him, if the pressure is coming from the game itself, he still shows out. The pressure right here for Tayson, we talked about it. Wasn't Levin saying like, hey, Tayson, after that first showing where he finished in 91st place, he's like, Tayson, if you don't finish in the top 10, then you did not have a great run here today. But Tayson responded like a champion should, and he's still sitting in 2nd place. He went down early in the previous match here, only getting 2 points. So right now, only 3 points currently behind Vino.
Trippin also almost won the last game in the final 1v1 against Reason. It was literally a matter of 7 HP, 1 missed shot that separated him from being at 78 points and possibly already in 3rd and closer to 2nd place for the moment. Very strong players all around. You're talking about Tayson though, the way he's been playing, he's very, very good at just playing in isolation and early and mid game. That last game, he was kind of following other people's build paths. It's what you have to do if you want to save a lot of materials. But because of it, he kind of left that eye of the storm, you know, just being alone the entire time. Got caught in the hurricane of so many other players who were down bad on Surge. Went down in 50th place overall from half and half into the 6th zone. 85 people alive right now. There's Nebs, who has huge waves and moves inside the late game. This guy's a retaker. The longer he survives, the more he abuses opponents' mistakes, the more he likes to overtake higher positions. And yes, it's just the 2nd zone. If this goes from the number 2 to 4, 5, or 6, everyone else in 1st place down to 6 could be in trouble.
And this is Nebs' backyard. He's used to making these rotations. He understands the Storm Surge plan for here, coming in 11th place with his trio partners of buildup and YZ in the previous season. And hey, maybe he's taking the momentum. He finished 3rd place in the UEFA Euro 2020 Cup, so it doesn't matter. We all know, it's not a traditional set lobby. You have to work your way through to some opens, but still, if you're performing well there, that means you're in prime position to have a great day. And Nebs certainly in prime position to not only to add some zeros to that prize check, but maybe add a comma or two.
The UEFA Cup definitely was a huge wave of practice for a lot of players. At the same time now, inside Game 6 with the best players in the world, even your old tried and tested patterns, they get put to the ultimate exam. buildup, he's used to being close on walls, dealing damage on unsuspecting enemies. Julex though, he's got kind of like a trip alarm set over with those ramps. If you want to see a sight light on him, you're gonna have to shoot those builds first. Very smart for him to stay away from any looming low ground shots from people like buildup.
Tensions are at an all-time high. Game 6, Vino. All eyes are on this Rising Star. Gets gifted a supply drop here. Let's see what he gets. Okay, gets a very valuable launch pad. We've seen him recycle so many launch pads as Analyst gets Kiriachi. Kiriachi picking up Nate. Vino at 95 points, so still unable to break the distance between himself and Tayson. Still lurking just a little bit behind that is Kinzel in 3rd place with 80 points.
Man, right now what I'm watching too is the, I don't know, very beneficial Fortnite gods right now who've made every zone basically be ultimately central or somewhere near the center POIs. It's giving everyone a chance to really playing out these games. But at the same time, these max zones are really hurting a lot of players because a lot of people are side by side. You're moving up with at least maybe 15 people sometimes on the same layer or on the same path. It's very, very difficult in solos. Elocrats going down. That'll be his tournament run for today. Storm Surge active again. These players must deal damage. Tayson won't be one of them. This gas station has the best damage prices you've ever seen on the island. A quick come and go. And he's going to be looking really good overall with that 146. Tripper, though, this man's out of fuel on the pressure. 29 below. Might be Virox he has to affect here. Possibly take out his run. It looks like he might be doing a little bit of emo. He knows exactly what Tripper needs to do. These are metal builds. This is pressure from all sides. An AR being shot down. Lightning strikes from above. Neither the players nor the gods are allowing Tripper a free pass into this final game. And it'll be Virox, who's the lobby, I don't know, chalet that just says, hey man, it's your time has come. Here's your keys back. That'll be the 6 games you get to play.
And that's such a missed time valet trip for Tripper. 4th place out. Only 2 points, actually 1 point behind Kinzel from getting into 3rd place. So that gives an opportunity for Thomas HC, Nebs, and Reason to move up the board. Even buildup could catch up here, and Vino has picked up another, is getting slowly but surely got a placement point right there. I was seeing Hin picking up Joe, and he just wants no business up here. Every single title name or card that you see in front of our top 3 is so much a high alert that's happening right now. You don't want to take a shot, you don't want to shoot at them, you just want to skate on through and hopefully make it to endgame.
I'm so excited for Vino right now, though, and Kinzel. Both these players play so well. When inside that 3rd and 4th zone, they're basically invisible when no one shoots at them once. They both are basically thinking a lot, don't have that added pressure of pressure, and every time we see them in this way, they hit a top 5.
Even from our, our POVs and our broadcast production, they seem to sneak on through them, man. We can't even catch them with that.
No, absolutely, and now we'll see a man who likes having the added pressure, likes playing off of other people's side of the case, and he's there. But once again, he likes having this 3x3 box around him basically free. The game that we saw that he had this much control around him in space, I believe he ended up picking up Nebs on low ground. It was game number 2. It's the same game that he won as well. So when Tayson's in here, when he has control, it's kind of like organized control of chaos that's around him as well. He plays very, very well. He dictates, he orchestrates the people around him. He baits people into bad spots. He forces eliminations. It's very good, and he's at that starting spot right now.
At 10th place, Snazy was just eliminated as well. So 2 people in the top 10 gone, Tripper and Snazy. Now this is it. Zone 4 is about to reveal. All these people on the outer edge of Zone 3 may have to either make a long rotation or a very short one. Time will tell here. It's coming down to the final moments, the final storm circles here. Janice in 41st place. This is what's so wild, Shayo, is that there's still names in this lobby, still players in this lobby that could be a big factor, that could be that tsunami, that could cause the chaos that stops someone on their run.
Definitely lots of players at the table. For Janice, it might be an all-in type of move right now. The loadout not looking too good. The gas canister's there. Might have a pad and a few mats, but you know what happens when you're finally at that position. He needs to siphon up an upgraded loot set completely. For Nebs, though, the counteracting man, the retake king, the machete, I would say. This dude is here, sideswiping at Trio's endgame, and he has a free pass in the zone.
He's gonna need a victory royale to get him from 6th all the way to 1st. That's what's on stake for Nebs. And if I'm gonna help you out, look at that golden number. The threshold right now for 1st is at 96 points. So if we're gonna switch POVs here and you wanna keep up with us in the chaos, just look at that number. So 66, you're seeing a 30-point difference, and that is a victory royale. So if Nebs can do that, could make this ultimate comeback, that is what's on the line.
Have to be Vino and Taysom going down, which is highly unlikely at this moment, but at the same time did happen in that last game. Their ultimate test will be the 5th zone. Vino, 2 pads now in his inventory. Has a lot of materials as well to work with, but at the same time, they might just last him a single little zone. He's getting a little bit pressured on all sides. His thinking might be slightly slower. It's 4ZR, who's basically been trained by Reason at Believer Beach the entire tournament in defense of these box fights. So it'll be a very, very difficult man to invade and shoot. He's basically been fighting the best fighter on EU and winning today.
This is what I'm talking about. 4ZR, a very tremendous opponent, knows how to play defense like you point out, Shayo. So Vino has to be careful. Here it is, the top 3. Vino, Tayson, and Kinzel, and we're seeing how close they are. Only 3-point difference between Vino and Tayson, and right now a 12-point between Kinzel and Tayson.
Kinzel literally has a world of work to do. Yes, he's in the top 3, but he is literally 10 points behind. 5 eliminations is what he needs. He needs to start having his game right now, put the pressure on, blow up gas cans. The loot looks so good, though. It's just, he can't just sit idly by. We know that if he hits endgame and Vino and Tayson are alive, these guys survive as long as he does. He needs to make up that difference in elims, something that is very difficult to do, not only for Kinzel, but just in solos in general. So that will be at stake for him. Has to be double digits right here.
Kinzel's having the best solo performance in Season 3. He only had 26 points, and the Invitational came in at 63rd. So he's going all the way back to his 30th placement of the World Cup solos. He's going all the way back to his DreamHack Solo Championship. So that is the time machine that Kinzel's right now. The old guard showing up, being that bright star that he's always been here at the All-Star Showdown Solo.
We keep talking about tests back and forth, and this is not one that Kinzel has to pass only right now, this maximum zone. He has to score in the high 90s, so
oh my.
4 seconds, I'll have the launch pad to move, it'll be fine. He has 2 in general as well, but no, he elects for the actual spicy fish to get moving. This is genius. A lot of people will be thinking and looking for launch pads the whole way through, so he finds a few around him. He pressures a few players too. If you see someone crazy with attack and steam coming out of their ears, you get out of dodge fast, and Kinzel forces Wakey to put down that pad. He uses it and saves 2 for later.
Verox got so lucky. Kinzel was about to glide on into this box, but Verox closed the edit right there. So that would have been a 2 points as Vino picks up another placement point right here, 97. So everyone else, though, that's still alive, that's right behind him, picked that up as well. So the lead has not grown yet.
Eerie silence in this last game. 49 people alive, but you don't hear a single AR being shot for more than 3 seconds. Everyone is waiting to see where this zone will go. Will it be Reason who has the advantage? Refsguard that takes control, or Tayson? who slides away unscathed in this end game. He will have somewhat of a pull here, but I believe it's Vino on the bottom left side of the map who gets that max zone pull. There he is. Slender, Trulex, Andalex, many big names above him, but this guy is the king right now. 97 total points, a 3-point lead for the moment, and he has the biggest chance to hold it on the low ground.
This lobby is about to crash down on Vino right now. Tayson and Vino have more top 10 placements than any other player right now. This is difficult. Vino has a hopperfish, has a pad. If he could do this right now, he needs to survive as the lobby's gonna crash down on him. He may be able to do it as we're on board here with Tayson second place. He's gonna have to make a movement, looking through all the opponents he's working his way through. A sniper shot just misses him and hits the brick here. This is our top 3 making their movement through. Let's see who survives this treacherous rotation. Kenzel's in, he's vibing. Now it is Vino up into the sky. Look at the top of your screen, folks. If Vino can make it to the front side, finds another pad, another moment to breathe as he's gliding through. Can he survive this glide? He sees a lot of names underneath him. He has height and a moment to breathe as Tayson picks up an elimination on the bottom right of your screen.
This is a triathlon of a challenge for all these top 3 players. Tayson doing that big dash, but Kinzel doesn't make it past that high jump. Another player goes straight into his box. It's Shizo that takes him out, our old second place warrior who's trying to come back into the sun. At the same time, we see Elims all across the feed. Tayson dodging them all right now.
1 point separating Tayson and Vino. 1 point separating our top 2 right now.
The Elims are made up from Tayson. Top 30 situation. The damage is looking good overall as well. Cammy, Mosh going down, but Tayson's not the same box as someone else in the feed. The beam is there. Goodness. Cannot stop the champion right now. 2 Elims. I think he's pulled away from exactly where Vino could be, and he's close over to a slightly higher layer as well. Where is Vino? All the way on low ground in his own box. He's biding his time. It doesn't matter just yet. It might be 0 Elims, but he's used so many mats to get to this situation. Going on the backside of Erican. He needs this Elim so badly. He has the hop flopper active as well. He can actually make up a lot of space with this one and save materials. He's out now. Completely out for the moment. The final box for Vino on the top right side of your screen. He's 1 point behind Tayson right now, who's all the way up in the land of clouds, editing all the way down below. He's getting closer and closer to Vino. Vino's classic 90-degree spray. It's not enough to actually confirm any eliminations. He just does a little bit of damage. Top 11, but he finds one. A huge Elim and lots of mats. 200 to work with. It'll buy him a little bit of time. Tayson, though, on the bottom right, he's looking for his chance. A big beam, lots of shots. He's going for it, but no confirmation.
Vino retakes the lead, now in the lead by 1 point. It's 112 to 111. That's coming down to the final moments. We're on board and focusing on Vino as Reason gets taken out by Seti. So that's not going to be another big game from Tayson. But now he has eyes on Temp. Now he has eyes on Vesroki. Did Tayson pick up those eliminations? No. Vesroki just snatches that Elim from Nebs here. This is it, folks. Don't go anywhere. It's a top 6 situation, and we have 2 competitors who are going to be able to walk away right now with some big money.
Final moments, 5 people left. Vino has height, Tayson all the way in the middle. Those are the 2 eyes, the 2 names you have to be focusing on right now. Tayson is literally in a world of hurt, but at the same time finds 2. That could be the difference. It'll have to be Vino going for the win right now in order to catch up. He's going for Erican as well. If he gets 3, that could be it. He's moving forward, forcing the placement. Tayson on all walls, but he sees everything through. Finds it. A big matchup. Tayson takes them all. The undisputed best solo player possibly in the entire world. Guild Tayson takes out everyone, literally everyone in this competition, and is your all-star champion.
What a dominating way to close it out. The golden boy of the EU region, looking strong and mighty, and got himself the FNCS All-Star Showdown Solo Championship. Wow!
1 by 1, Titan falls. 1 by 1, every single legend in the scene who's looking to stop this man cannot complete the task. He is absolutely unstoppable. He is both that immovable wall and that crazy fast object you cannot slow down. Tayson is just a different beast entirely. Vino survived all the way to the very end. He had height, he had the best rotation, but Tayson himself just had the power He had the confidence, he had the speed to dive into every box. Right here, he should have been taken out, but Toos couldn't do it. Tayson survived. Vino had the best clutch elimination as well, but at the same time could not use it to get to the very end. Tayson is just a different breed. He is honestly, I would say, one of the best players, if not the best player alive for Fortnite right now.
It wasn't supposed to go. It wasn't supposed to go down to that. We've never ever seen that finish before. My goodness, I am Sancho West, alongside with my buddy, my pal, Shio Wager. Thank you so much, Shio, for everything you've done for me. It's been a tremendous ride, and wow, man, what a great finish, brother.
What a great finish indeed. There's so much to break down in that last game. We got to talk it over and hand it over to Zeke, Levin, and Reese to show us the end of the All-Star event.
Tayson! Tayson! What? Tayson! I don't understand. Okay, first off, props to both these players. Vino, there's no reason you should have been alive in that endgame. There's literally no reason, and yet you held on. You just crept along in the shadows. You waited to strike. You find someone. You make that impact. You make it work for you. But Tayson, guys, I love, and you can tell the moment that he drops out, this elimination, he's like, wait. You can literally tell he's like, wait, I could do this. I could do this. Drops down, takes the fight below, right here. He's like, oh, okay, wait. No, I don't even, wait, let me come around here. Let me open this wall. He's gonna jump, he has to. He has no other choice. I wait for it. Boop. At this point, he's like, all right, I've won. At that point, he's already won. It's too late. He's gotten the eliminations. Vino should have checked him sooner. He should have seen all this happening. He should have gone down. Levin, I don't know how you knew. I don't know who in production gave you the script. But wow!
I can see it. It was written in the stars. You know, the last time we had any major solo competition like an FNCS Solos, Tayson was the winner. Tayson was the guy that came out on top. You know, he's renowned as one of the best players in the world, if not the best. And, you know, if you had any doubts, you know, take a look at that. Do you know what I mean? I really did believe, like I said at the top of the show, everything was just setting up perfectly for him to be the person to come in and take it. And he had great competition. You know, Vino put up a fight till the very end. Vino had no business, like you said, being involved in that right to the very final moment. And to see it come down to the 1v1, right? Like, this is, you know, this is literally everything you could have possibly wanted. This is insane. Congrats to Tayson on winning the All-Star Showdown.
Look, you said right there, Tayson may be one of the best, or maybe the best player in the world. I'm sorry, he is. There is no doubt in my mind if Tayson's the best player, not even in EU, in the world right now. No one is able to do what he's doing. The solo placements that he's had alone, it will ignore the Trio FNCS Championship, his great placements outside of that as well. 5th in the Invitational, he won the solo FNCS, and now he's won this again, and in such a fantastic fashion as well, picking up the player who was second, which is the first time that's ever happened to win a tournament before in Fortnite history. What a huge momentous occasion, and I'm sorry, in my eyes, I have to take the GOAT crown off of Aqua, and I'm putting the GOAT crown on top of Tayson's head.
I can't believe, you know, what I've just seen this week. You know, Tayson is, you know, he's been someone who, you know, when he won the back-to-back FNCSs, you know, people wanted to see him do the free time, and he didn't do the free time, and there was so much pressure put on him. But, you know, pressure builds diamonds, and he is really a diamond in the rough. When you look at just the consistency he was able to have, get into endgame, game after game, and honestly, I agree with you. You know, we are watching the best Fortnite player in the world. We are watching the greatest European Fortnite player, the greatest player we've seen in Fortnite. Like, this is insane stuff. How did he not go down there? How? Like, I don't even get it. Like, my mind is blown. My mind is truly blown by what Tayson has been able to do today. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
In that moment, Reese, like, I felt my heart stop. Like, I felt everything stopped for just a second, and then he was just like, nah, man. Now, Zeke, look, I do this for a living, baby. Check this out. Watch me survive and then win that game.
Look, this moment was this is the pivotal moment. Outside of the Tus elimination that realistically, I think Tus should be able to pick that one up. Tus is known for having spectacular aim, and I'm not sure what happened, but the crouch shot to go underneath, those tags alone were pivotal in this because Erkin had the right-hand peek, and obviously he didn't ended up whiffing anyway. And again, that shot from Vino that he missed there with his purple pump, he completely ended up whiffing, and that was a $30,000 shot. You got to think that probably kept him down in second. The Victory Royale potentially would have kept him in that first place. I've not done the maths on the top of my head.
It would have. It would have.
Okay.
He had to get that.
He got Taste in there. Yeah,
He would have won. They won the whole tournament, so I'm sure Vino's... I was going to say, I'm sure Vino's kicking himself a little bit, but let's be real. Vino put in such good work second and $120,000. You can't be kicking yourself for that.
Still not bad. That's pretty good for just a few hours. 6 matches of Fortnite, man. It's looking real good. Once again, to our top 3, these guys are insane. Vino, and that was like the first time I think we've ever seen first place eliminate second place, like in that final moment. To win a championship like that in Fortnite history, absolutely ridiculous. We could, like, you can't make this up, Levin. I can't make this up.
You literally can't write a story better than this. And then the beauty of it to me is, like, you know, we always have these conversations about, you know, solos. It is just so hard to stay consistent. There's so many more variables you have to account for. This guy's just won the 2 biggest solo competitions that we've had back to back in recent time. FNCS solos last year, then now winning this. It's like, it doesn't matter. He literally, it does not matter for him. He will just win. Like, come on, man. What are we really doing here, man? What are we really doing here? Inject it, baby. Let's go. Like, Tayson's just the GOAT. Like, what can you say? What can you say?
I think you've nailed it. What can you say? I think I've already mentioned, you know, hands down, I think we've gone, it's hard to say when there's not inter-regional, you know, battles. We're not really seeing EU going against NA East, but I hands down think that Tayson is the best player in the world right now. I just cannot see any player on any other region doing what he is doing right now in solos and in trios, in anything, just in anything at all. Unbelievable performance from him, and like you mentioned, it's so difficult to be consistent in solos. Both Tayson and Vino proved that that's just not true.
Just ridiculous, boys. We also can't forget he just won the other day high tier, so this makes him the all-star of all-stars. I mean, Tayson, wow, just wow.
Zeke, I claimed my earnings from high tier. I don't know if I can claim any of this. Look, this would be the time to claim, you know what I mean? Coach Levin coming back in for the swoop. I'll happily take a little 10% of the 100. I'll happily take that, do you know what I mean? But nah, look, he is literally the all-star of all-stars, right? When you talk about the premier names of Fortnite, you know, if you want to make the list of the best players, you will just start with Tayson, do you know what I mean? And it's like, he's so competitive. It's like, it doesn't even make sense, because even when you look at Hyter, like, I know this is Hyter, but even when you look at Hyter, it's not like he had the fastest time or anything, but he just straight up won. Do you know what I mean? He will just win. Like, no matter who else is his competitor, he will just come out above, and that is what you want out of your GOAT. That is what you want out of a champion, and he truly is that.
Do you think that will set the fire in his belly ready for Season 7's FNCS trios to maybe... That's a 4-time championship now? Is that what you're thinking?
He's got an automatic spot to the finals. Why not? Do you know what I mean? They weren't far off last season. Do you know what I mean? 3rd place last season. It's not like he's far off. Like, this guy is the real deal. Do you know what I mean? I could definitely see him getting the 4th FNCS championship. Do you know what I mean? So, that's in the future. That's in the future. Right now, he's just got
that's in the future, boys. That is in the future for sure. Tayson, enjoy and bask in the sun, because you've absolutely earned it. Fortnite fam, that wraps up the competition completely in EU. The FNCS All-Star Showdown is done, but don't forget, we still have NA East, we have NA West, 6 matches in both of those regions, and of course we have champions to crown there. As always, please give a follow to Shayo Wager, Sancho West. Give a follow to these 2. These guys are absolutely incredible, some of the best people on the planet. And as always, Fortnite fam, we'll see you for NA East, NA West next FNCS, and if not, as always, we'll see all of you guys on the battle bus.
Beep, beep.